Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. We're running a little, well, we're recording a little later. Well, not but
Yes.
we always have recording around this time anyway.
Yeah.
But we're doing this a day later. So this episode will come out Friday as opposed to Thursday. We wanted to put out the episode after the DNC speech. DNC was done. So we wanted to see Kamala's speech, Tim Walz's speech, all the hoopla and all that. We couldn't do the episode on a Wednesday and not have Kamala's speech in there.
It would be weird, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Like weird, like when Tim Walz says that Trump is weird, or like
it'd just be like you would sense something is missing.
Something is a missing, yeah.
Yeah. It's like pausing a movie 3/4 of the way through and discussing it. Like, why would you do that? You just finish the movie.
Exactly. We want to get in while it's fresh in our brains before our minds are changed by Chuck Todd and or the New York Times pitch bot says something.
Yes.
Kamala was energetic. How could this hurt her?
Right. Why that
Kamala came off strong and energetic. Well, Trump was tired and weak. How will this hurt Kamala?
Exactly. Yeah. Kamala delivers blazing speech as Trump scares crows away from crops.
But how is it bad? How is this bad for Kamala Harris's campaign?
Why this will haunt Dems in November?
Yeah, well, this is why. Yeah. Oh God, I can't stand that shit. All right, Joseph. Before we get into everything, what are we talking about?
We have a limited list, but a lot to discuss. We're going to talk about they canceled The Acolyte, that Star Wars show we had been talking about. We're going to talk about the DNC and a lot of the speakers and themes of the DNC. We're going to talk about Trump's brand new comedy skit, Person Fainting, which has just been killing it all throughout the Midwest.
The Groundlings, I heard, were behind it.
Yes, right.
The improv troupe.
It was probably written by Mamet. And then
he's like a right winger, so
he is. He went big right wing.
Yeah, like 20 years ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because
he finally admitted it.
Yeah. Then we're going to talk about another great skit, J.D. Vance trying out human small talk, which is
how you expect me to exchange these protein strains.
We're done with that. We're talking about George Santos pleading
going
guilty.
To prison. Like he's going to prison, right?
Yeah.
Like it just depends how long, right? It's like
right. I've heard there's like a mandatory minimum of 2 years or something. Like he's going to do a couple years in prison.
I'd say. Thankfully, he only was in office for like a year, so
yeah.
But,
Well, he did a lot of damage because he was part of that. He was part of that group of people that snuck
he voted terribly. Fuck him. He was a fucking instrument of destruction. Fuck that guy. We'll talk about that later. So,
but then the first thing we're going to talk about, the very first thing, is your steadfast belief that Bitcoin will. No, it wasn't that.
Yeah. This is a huge. We're going to the moon now.
The Threads will gradually, if not sooner,
I think it's happening
over Twitter.
Much sooner than later. Threads is going to dominate Twitter soon.
Yeah, and I think there's something there.
I will say though, you kind of have to watch your P's and Q's on Threads more than Twitter.
How so?
Well, it's modern more. Like I wrote like a curse word once or something, and I got like a or something. While on Twitter, the only thing they ban is like you can't say the word cisgender on there. Right. You can't. I posted something once and it said this is getting limited reach, and I was like, what? And my tweet had the word cis in it, and I was like, oh my God. He said he was going to do that.
I did hear that.
Gender cis is a
slur.
I find cis to be a racial slur. That's what he said. That was not a joke. It's like, really? No, I think Threads, like I now everything I write on Twitter, I copy into Threads. And two things I like about threads. One, you can edit your
Oh
if you
wow.
post something immediately, you can change it. I don't know if it's like if it until someone likes it or
Hmm.
maybe you have like 30 seconds to do it. I don't know. But like I noticed I spelled something wrong. And I was able to edit like an Instagram post.
Huh.
So that's one thing. You can't do that on Twitter unless you pay for
Right.
it. And then another thing is that my engagements are higher. Like I have on a lot of stuff. Now I get tweets on at Twitter. I refuse to call it whatever the fuck Elon
Right.
wants to call it because it will be when he's gone. I'll go back to Twitter. Um, because I truly believe he will not be on there for very long. Did you hear about like banks or something are like freaking out because of the money he invested and how it's like all a loss?
Yeah, I've yes, I've heard a lot of different things about this. Honestly, I've not like looked up to see what is true, what is not true, but
I thought he just had all that money because he was so rich and he was able to just write a check for 44 million billion dollars.
yeah, I don't really know. I do know though that I went on I need to get on Threads more often. I went on Threads when it first
You
came
should
out.
make our YSGOAT account from Instagram.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Automatic.
idea.
No, it takes 2 seconds. You just go to like your account or whatever, create a Threads account, and then what you do is every time you post on Instagram a new episode,
Yeah.
you can set up your Instagram that all your posts go to your Threads. So you're
Huh.
posting on Instagram and Threads at the same time. And then what you can do when you post on Threads our episode, you can go now back to the into Threads real quick, like go to Threads, and then you can edit real fast and add the link because
Oh,
you can add
okay.
links in Threads
Yeah.
just like Twitter. So I would say you might as well go ahead and
Right.
add our YSGOAT account. And like I said, it's a 1, 2, 3 thing. And what's cool about it is if everyone, like I finally did that. I have a comic page, You Love
Hmm.
Comics, and I have a show to do. And I was like, well, I should set up a Threads. I don't know why I didn't do it. And it's like super
Yeah.
easy because if you have an Instagram account, so I just set it up and I immediately had like 450 followers because I guess like
Right.
out of 3,000 followers I had on my Instagram account on You Love Comic Books, I guess 400 or 500 of them were on Threads already. So
Yeah.
I had them like right as I started the account. Um, so it's I didn't like it in the beginning. I still have issues with it. I don't trust Facebook. I
Right.
don't trust Mark Zuckerberg, but I think he's being smart. He's been smarter lately than Elon. Like he has that new look where he looks like he works at like in a pizza place and do the right thing.
Right.
Have you seen him lately?
Let's sell. Put some mozzarella on
It's
this
so
motherfucker.
weird. He has like a chain and his hair. He's like one of
Yeah.
the broccoli head kids from that you
Yep.
see like at your kid's middle school, and you're like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
Yeah, he made himself more human. Now he still sucks. Like I remember after Trump
Right.
got supposedly fake, whatever we want to call it. I guess we have to say he was a attempt of murder at him, right? I mean,
Right. Right. And
did you see the thing recently where like JD Vance was saying they tried to kill him, and it's like, dude, it was a Trump supporter.
yeah. Yeah. Um, that whole thing is just like that's still baffling to me that they have not they all the Republicans like I'm why isn't Jim what is that guy's name? Jim Jordan. Why isn't Jim Jordan demanding hearings on like this attempted assassin?
Because
I'm
it was
doing air
fake.
quotes, but that's it. Like I like they like
Well, because they
people
don't
died.
because
Like some people got killed. You
if it
know?
wasn't fake, because people died either way.
Yeah.
The
It was
attempt
like
on the
this.
site is fake or not. But the reality was that the guy who did it was a Trump supporter, and they don't want to bring attention to that.
Yeah.
They don't want to bring attention that his family were Trump supporters.
Yeah. It's like
So they just kind of want to like ignore the whole thing. They want to bring it up all the time. He says that he doesn't like, they say Trump doesn't like bringing it up. I'm like, he doesn't? He brings it up all the fucking time.
yeah. It's like his go-to.
Yeah.
Um,
Remember
but it's
when I
just
was shot? No, actually, I don't. I forgot. No
yeah.
one, like,
Because your ear is completely uninjured.
yeah,
You know, I mean, like I get that it happened in like the sense that this was an event where people died and a gun was fired and like it's all that
It
shit happened. But like,
didn't somebody come out with the
why?
wife? Is the wife like finally waking up and like wants to sue or something?
I don't
Supposedly,
know.
the guy who was
I don't
killed. I
know.
thought I read something that she's actually kind of pissed.
I mean,
Maybe
I would give
reality
an
kicked in, and it's like, oh yeah, my fucking husband of like 20 something, the father of my children is fucking
yeah.
murked at a fucking
I
Trump rally.
I mean, I would give her a pass on making poor decisions after it happened because that's just got to be like such a traumatizing
In a
thing to
shock.
have.
Yeah.
Uh,
You don't think clearly when you see something like
mhm.
that. You
Right.
know, something bad happens clearly, your first action is not going to be a clear thought.
Right. Yeah. Woof. Anyway.
So well, back to threads.
Yes.
I just think like I've seen so I have tweets on Twitter that blow up. I did one recently, like there was a one with just reposting a cat turd image that the
Yeah.
joke
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
wasn't even real. Like that got almost like 60,000 likes. There was some other thing I tweeted that like got insane amount too. I forgot it was something recent too. But then I posted on like threads and like shit's blowing up. I every so anytime I tweet something that like on Twitter that gets like 10 likes, it'll get like 100, 200 likes
Huh.
on threads. And I only have 611 followers on threads.
Yeah.
I have 5,378 followers on Twitter. But
Right.
I have like a less than a tenth of the, right? Is that 10th? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, less than a tenth of the followers on threads. I posted something the other day. I literally, like I said, I'm literally posting the same things now. If anything, I might edit something because I was able to fix it in threads and
Mhm.
in Twitter, I just let it ride. But I posted something like the Ann Coulter thing attacking Tim Walz's kid. Like it got a decent amount of likes on Twitter, but it got almost
Right.
200 likes on threads. But that's not the one. Where's the It was one making fun of Charlie Kirk, and that one got like 10,000 likes on threads, which I didn't even think that like you can get that many on there. I've been going on it more now. I'm actually
Yeah.
like looking at it more. I never looked at it. Like I never looked at the feed. I didn't really care, but now I feel like I should pay attention more to this feed because one, I'm getting more engagements out of it. So of course I have an
Yeah.
interest, a personal interest in it. It's like if my stuff's not going to grow, but the joke is like Threads now is better than Instagram, and it's the
It,
same. It's literally
it,
the same account. Your Instagram account is tied to your
right.
Threads. I had a Threads account that I lost last year because of Bucky's.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lost my Threads account too because they're tied together. So if
Right.
something happens to my Instagram account, it will affect like my current Instagram account, Robbie's Artwork.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
My Threads account will be affected by it
Hmm.
because it's the same account. I had to start over on Threads also. Like I had over 3,000 followers on Threads
Right.
when I lost it last year. So that's my one issue. I kind of wish it was like a separate beast that had nothing to do like because something can happen on Instagram. You could have something
Right.
pulled for some reason, and now it affects my threads. They should have nothing to do with each other. They should be their own thing. Now I get it, it's tied. That's why you're able to, that's why the plus and why they got people to sign up for threads in the beginning.
Right.
They were like, listen, if you have like a lot of followers on Instagram, that's going to carry over to threads. You don't have to do all this work again. We're just
Right.
starting this new platform, like a Twitter clone, basically. But you're not going to start off at zero
Hmm.
unless you just start a threads account without Instagram. I don't even know if you can do that. I think you need to have an Instagram account.
Yeah, you might. I don't
Um,
know. I could see Threads taking over Twitter. Um, Twitter has gotten it's no longer like it's no longer like a trusted thing, I don't think. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like Elon Musk taking over Twitter probably killed it because he gave it a clear ideological bent. And at some point, like people are going to start realizing like using Twitter is basically like using Truth Social or Rumble or not Rumble, Telegram or any of those other like right wing things. They're built with rules that like favor like pretty awful content.
So
you
I
know?
posted a joke with Matt Walsh was at the DNC convention, and I said this
Yeah,
equal to trap is somehow even worse.
right.
It
Yeah.
got like 50 likes on Twitter. On Threads, it got 350 likes.
Huh.
On what else? I made fun of the oh yeah, this is the one. It got over the one that says it was Charlie Kirk making fun of Kamala Harris's stepdaughter and husband,
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
and like he posted like totally weird, like the way
Oh,
his
that's right.
arms
Yeah,
are
you
around.
showed me this one. Yeah.
And I tweeted, I said, no one has ever hugged Charlie Kirk, not even his parents. And it has 10,300 likes,
Yeah.
82,000 views. On Twitter, it got like 150 likes.
Hmm.
But like I said, I still get once in a while, I get that tweet on Twitter that gets like 2 million views and like
Yeah.
100,000 likes. Like it makes, oh yeah, like my Tim Walls one when they announced, when I
Yeah.
did the Tim Walls and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, like comparing the two of them, like how he's
Yeah.
feeding them and she's fucking putting them in the fucking hog denuclear factory.
Yeah.
And is that a thing? Is that a real thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a really great
You
author.
do have to denucle them hogs, you know?
Yeah, there's a great author who gave a commencement speech where he said he worked at a hog denucling factory, and he said it was a real thing. It was the guy who wrote Lincoln in the Bardo. His name's not in my head right now, but he's a great writer. And yeah, he so that's I know that's where that line came from.
I have another tweet or thread or whatever the fuck you want to call it, where it was about the acolyte, and I just said, "Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?" I thought not. It's not a story Disney Plus would tell you. Haha, get it? I just
Yeah.
changed the thing. Jedi on Twitter it got like 100 likes or something. On Threads, it got 809 likes so far, and I still see it getting interaction. There's a lot of like people like finding that funny or leaving like stupid comments or whatever. Um, so I just think that it's not a waste of time to use. If you want a real alternative to Twitter, I mean, like I said, unfortunately, it's tied to Facebook.
Yeah.
It's still Facebook in the end. So there's no moral high ground here. You're not, the only thing you could say is that, yeah, I guess Facebook is not as abrasive as Elon is, but let's not forget Facebook was very instrumental in helping Trump become president in 2016.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But I think a lot of left-leaning or progressive people are starting to use Threads more. There's accounts that I follow or see stuff on Threads that don't use Twitter. They dropped out of Twitter. One of these guys is an artist. I follow Eric Larson. He said when he heard Elon Musk was buying Twitter, he's like, the minute that man owns it, I am done using it. And he
Yeah.
does not use it. He's on Threads. So I see his stuff again. There are celebrities that won't go on there. I don't know what the deal with advertising on it. I
I
gotta
don't
look. I don't think I've seen a lot of ads. I think because it's tied to Instagram and it's so new, they want to get people using it. I mean, listen, within a year or two, this thing, if this thing becomes the true Twitter replacement, it's gonna go to shit in like 2 years because they're gonna want to profit off it somehow, and they'll
Yeah.
just ruin it. And anytime it's like they can't just let it be a thing that like generates. They have to like get that quick buck, and you'll just start seeing ads, and then the algorithm will suck, and they'll say, "Hey, you want to, become an elite thread user? You'll get a purple check mark or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Pay
You
15 a month."
you're right. Until there is like, and the problem is that Mastodon was
I
kind
hated
of
that.
I
Mastodon
hate I'm just
sucked.
saying, like, I hated that too. I was on it for a little bit and I just couldn't get into
Waste
it.
of fucking time.
But that is something that won't get corrupted because it's like open source and
Well,
user
everybody
run.
was
And
so annoying on it.
I
Oh
know,
my God. People were like annoying as shit on that thing, and it didn't work. Another one, I
but
wanted Blue Sky to work.
yeah, me
But
too.
it's like the most I think interaction I got was like 5 likes on something. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is a waste of fucking time.
I was
I
on
the
I
reason why I'm
was on
liking
Blue Sky
uh,
didn't even have an app. It was like you could download an app, but it would just redirect you to a website or
well,
something.
it did have an app, and then you needed an invite for like a year, and it was
Yeah.
like this people were so desperate to find some alternative to Twitter, but they just didn't launch it right away. Like I thought
Yeah.
Hive was great, but that shit the bed immediately.
Yep.
That was good for like 1 minute. Like I was like, holy shit, this could be like a Instagram Twitter replacement. Like I was posting things and getting like actual interaction and engagements on my
Yeah.
work and everything, and then it just crashed and it never recovered. So I stopped using it. Caro is a waste of time. I used that. I got nothing out of that. I just set up an account. This guy I used to work with, he had a theory. He said, anytime there's like any type of these apps, you should just join it, set up your account, because the last thing you want to do is something happens and then it blows up, you don't have an account and like you can't use your name.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, you can look at it that way. I'm not fucking Sylvester Stallone though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you
Right.
remember like the early days of like Twitter or the early days of the internet where like celebrities had to like pay some asshole who bought like
Yeah.
SylvesterStallone.com
Yeah.
because they were smart to be like, holy shit, I'm gonna buy all these domain names of like
Yeah.
celebrities and famous people, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're gonna have to pay me for them.
Hmm.
People were That was like a new frontier. This is
It
like
was
the early
great.
90s.
I
And
made $200 off of camping off of www.charo.com.
Charo,
And
the coochie
if,
coochie,
yeah,
$200. Is she
I
coochie
was like,
coochie?
look, you want the name, you want the website, it's going to cost you 200 coochie coochies. So,
200 coochie coochies. She
yeah,
was an interesting woman.
I think she's still alive,
She is still
honestly.
alive. I remember
Yeah.
she was on like Surreal Life or one of those
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
one of the celebrities that would be on that.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the crazy thing about her, since
Uh-huh.
we're talking about Chara,
Yeah.
she's like one of the best guitarists in the world.
Oh, I've heard this that yeah, she's actually like very talented musically.
Yeah, like she is like like legitimately one of the best acoustic guitar players in the world.
That's
Like
funny. Huh.
everyone
I did
just knows her for coochie coochieing,
yeah,
which sounds kind of vaguely
it
sexual,
does. Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's like
Um,
this, like it's like the same thing too. It's like Flava Flav. People see him, he's just some hype man with a stupid clock. And they
right.
said supposedly this guy is the one who like he's like a music protege. Like he wrote all the fucking music for like I forgot what's his face said that. The guy from Public Enemy, the other famous dude.
Chuck D.
Chuck D, they were like you say, like people be like, oh, like he's useless, he's just a hype man. He's like he like wrote all the shit
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
like
I
the
did not
music and
know that.
everything. Yeah, the dude's like even on the Surreal Life or that show, there was
Yeah.
a show they did with him and Bridget, is it her name Brigitte?
Oh, Brigitte Nelson. Yeah, I remember
Brigitte
that.
Nelson.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was such a weird show. Yeah,
that
but they would show
was.
him playing the drums and everything. He was fucking good. Like he was
Yeah. Huh. All right.
these people, they get like a bad rap for just being a little goon on stage, and then you find out
Yeah,
they're
the
like
brains behind
fucking
it.
what's that guy that got that famous cello player or something?
Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Ma. They're just they're really Yo-Yo Ma's, They don't get the accolation or anything.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's that moron with the clock from the stage, and he goes, "Yeah, boy," and like that's
Yeah.
it. He doesn't do anything. It's like
Yeah.
no,
That's funny.
like the guy, he's literally the brains of the outfit.
That's crazy. Yeah. Huh.
Um, yeah. So that's my theory. We'll see. I think elections can change. Elections have effects on lots of things,
True.
especially like social media apps. If people are like, I'm going to go on threads to discuss the election over Twitter, Twitter's done. You had a theory about these things too? You said we talked about this in the past.
Hmm.
You said that like if if respected newspapers like New York Times
Yeah.
and all the Washington Post and all these things, if they start posting on threads or presidents or politicians and everything in general, then that's the thing that makes them like an official.
Yeah. I 100% think. I remember you and I talking about that, and I said it's got to be like respected newspapers and government accounts. Like if and not just like now you see like Mayor Pete has a TikTok account or whatever, but if you see like Mayor Pete, and the U.S. Department of State, and also like Angola and North Sudan. Like if like states news, like if they start making accounts and posting stuff, they can even post it simultaneously to Twitter or whatever else they want to post it on. But that will skyrocket any platform, and I don't think
Yeah.
any other um social media platform has that. It's all Twitter, you know.
It's on Threads now.
Well, I will say the one thing, and I was thinking about this just oddly enough today, not specifically about this, but like for years and years and years, BlackBerry was inescapable. It was it. Like
Yeah.
BlackBerry was like another word for personal digital advice
Yeah.
device,
PDAs.
Yeah. Um, and then the iPhone came along, and it's like I don't even know if they make Blackberries anymore.
I don't think they made them in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that great
So
movie that came out years ago. Did you see it? And well,
yeah.
actually, kind of recent. The BlackBerry movie. It starred
Yep.
Dennis
Yeah.
from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
That was a
That
good
was real
movie.
good.
I liked it. I'm
I
not a big fan of those. Like, I mean, it's the joke is I end up liking most of these movies, but like Air, these fucking like celebration of capitalism. But I feel like with the BlackBerry one, that had such a detrimental effect on like how communication's done, and then like
yes.
and just showing how revolutionary it was at the time, but then how quickly it just became obsolete too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's like the danger for like almost anything real big. Like I always think when I'm trying, not that I have a ton of money in the stock market or whatever, but like when I'm putting, my 20 cents into the market, like the temptation is to say,
All
oh,
those
well,
coffees everyone buys us.
well, it's to say like, oh, I'm just going to buy stock in Apple because I can't imagine a world where iPhone isn't the dominant smartphone. But like people said that shit about BlackBerry,
Yeah.
and people said that shit about Twitter and all sorts of stuff. So I think it's just so improbable that Twitter stays number one, particularly because of the decisions Elon Musk made. All it's going to take is like if Kamala Harris wins and she starts putting out stuff on threads or
She is. They are.
whatever.
I
Yeah, but
mean,
like
they are. The Kamala campaign, the Kamala HQ,
but
they're on threads.
if she but if she starts doing it like, hey, I'm doing an ask me anything on threads this afternoon,
Yeah.
or I'm like that kind of like, because it's one thing to cut and paste content. I mean, they have machines
Yeah.
that'll do that for you. You don't even have to. um but if she starts using it like, or like the government starts using it like, this is where we go first and we copy it to everywhere else,
Right,
that
right.
will and some of that's like personal engagement and stuff like that. Like um a lot of people like will respond to shit on Twitter, but if they start responding to shit on threads, then that will escalate it. So yeah, I hope so. I hope
I
Twitter
mean,
falls
again, it
apart.
just
Well, fuck
sucks
that
that again,
place.
I hope people realize like Threads is Facebook,
Yeah.
but and knowing how that company is, like, even if this is good within a couple of years, it's not going to be good. When people start relying in as a dominant thing, that's when they ruin it with the whole like, oh, we gotta make money off of this. We gotta do like the funny thing I always thought. Remember, before we move on to the next thing, remember what was it, the Social Network movie that came out?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I hated that fucking movie because in the end of the day, as much as they made Mark Zuckerberg look like a weirdo who like made an
Reptile.
app, what?
A weirdo reptile.
Yeah, yeah, he still was kind of like a rebel.
He was the
Like,
hero. The
yeah, he was the hero
Winklevosses
because
were
like
the
the
bad
other
guys.
guy who he screwed over,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like he's Andrew Garfield's character. Like, he's technically like the good guy in the movie, but not true at all. Mark Zuckerberg comes off like the innovator.
Yeah.
And the other guy, he wanted all these pop-up ads and Mark Zuckerberg would be like, that's not cool. It won't be cool then. It won't be a cool app. And I'm like your whole fucking thing is littered with ads now. So like
Yeah.
whatever bullshit you're trying to sell, First of all, I'm like, wait, talking about Facebook always had like ads and shit. They had those stupid things like you want to buy a cupcake for someone and you pay $1 or
Yeah,
something for like a little digital thing. I was like, who's paying for this shit? But yeah, I hated that fucking movie because it did make him out to be like he was cool or something in some
it
weird
had
way.
kind of a revisionist history on it.
Yeah, but like I said, um, but the joke is that it turned into exactly what they claimed it was not in
Right.
this movie.
Yeah. Huh.
Same thing with Instagram. Instagram now is just like a it wants to be like TikTok shops. Let me tell you, I cannot fucking like I like TikTok, but I hate going on sometimes because like half my fucking feed, I don't realize it's someone trying to sell me something. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying like someone's promoting like art or promoting music. I mean, they're literally just trying to sell me like
Yeah. It's
a
an
product to buy in
advertisement.
the TikTok shop. It's like half it's shit that I don't follow or anything like that, and it's just getting it's like more
A
and more.
lot of it's real bad too. Like
It's like Timu shit or something.
yeah, yeah. Um, I get that. And look, I still like TikTok a lot. I used to go on there and just scroll, and it would legitimately give me the stuff I wanted to see. It was like a good mix of like little comedy things, kind of some political stuff, some geeky kind of movie stuff, and then like music and cooking. You know, it was like it was great. But now like I get like a lot of bizarre videos that I can't figure out. Like I get like what do I just get like weird videos that don't have any discernible link to stuff I
I will
like,
say
you know?
one ad that was effective. I would see these ads of these people like buying a walking pad and
Oh, okay, yeah.
like it's kind of like a treadmill, but it's just a walking pad. It doesn't have like the bars. It's not as big.
Yeah.
You can walk really fast on it. And I was like, I bought one, not from
Oh,
TikTok. I got it from like I
actual store.
my wife found a really good one for me
Oh,
looking at reviews. I didn't buy some shit from TikTok, but it convinced me. I was like, oh shit, those exist. I should get one.
yeah, that's
Really
cool.
cheap, like $100.
Yeah, there's good,
Uh,
I mean,
or more, it was more than that, but not. It was still relatively cheap, and it's like 40 pounds. I'm not like trying to.
right.
It doesn't take up much room. I could take it and rest it against the wall, like
That's
when I'm
funny.
done. It gives me a chance to exercise, but it's just funny. I found out about with TikTok, and it's like this fucking guy who's like, "I'm 400 pounds." Like he does this every day, and it builds up his ability to lose weight. He wants to make a change, and it's like low impact.
What is a walking pad? Like you just it's a pad you walk on, like
It's I
walking.
mean, it looks like a treadmill,
Okay, yeah.
but it's not. It doesn't have like the bars on top.
Yeah, it's like a roller.
You're not gonna. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah, that's
rolling
cool.
pad. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome. I started
that is
using it.
cool.
I lost 3 ounces,
Yeah, that's
three
cool.
whole ounces.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
You know, I'm joking, right?
Well, how much did you lose weight?
I didn't. I don't know. I started using it the other day. I just want to not die from a heart attack. I think
Well,
it's a good way to. You walk like a mile in
yeah,
your house. You know what I mean? Like if it's not, you're not worried about being too
that's
fucking
funny.
hot out or
No,
something. Or
no, I bought a gym membership like a couple months ago. I started going to the gym to just to treadmill and stuff like
yeah,
that. Nothing, weird. But yeah, no, I think that's great. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
But like I said, it's just funny how effective it was. But like I said, I didn't buy it from one
right.
of those sellers because I'm like, I wanted something that was like reputable and actually had like
Yeah,
tons of reviews and
yeah, that's cool.
it's like it reminds me of like, do you remember years ago those hoverboards were really popular?
Yes, yeah,
And the joke was they said there were ones that would explode,
right.
literally go on fire because because no one would patent it right away. Anyone could make it. So there was no like central source for these hoverboards. So there was no knowing like, oh yeah, you want to buy like a Schwinn bicycle. There's a
Right.
name. There's like Huffy or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever brand exercise equipment. There Nerf. There's a
Right.
brand.
Like
There,
a benchmark. Like
and there's some
that's the good.
respectability, and the
Yeah.
brand has they want to uphold some kind of quality control.
Right.
the problem with these hoverboards is that there was no central brand of these hoverboards. So anyone was making it. So all these like Chinese companies were just shitting these out. Like, and there was it was like they were made poorly. That's why people were like they
Wow.
were exploding. They were so popular. People would be on
Yeah.
these. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
SNL had a really funny fake ad by it. Did you see the Trumpy fish ad?
Yeah, you sent that to me, and I
Dude,
I remember that product, like the big mouth bass,
yeah,
uh, Billy the big
I
mouth
couldn't believe
bass.
I showed it to my wife. She couldn't believe this was real. I was like,
Yeah,
it looked like an SNL commercial from like,
it 100% did.
dude, that thing, I want it. It's so I want it. I hate the guy so much, but I want this. This thing is fucking weird. I'm not gonna pay $100 for it, but
No, no, no.
dude,
But
that
this
thing is
is this
I
is.
could not believe that commercial was insane.
I does he is he affiliated with that at all,
No, of
or
course not. This is the thing, and it's gotta probably drive him nuts because he's a public figure now.
yeah, you can do
The
that,
president, anyone can make shit of him.
right?
Anyone. Anyone can
Yeah,
sell stuff. Like I can make Kamala stuff. I can make
right.
Trump stuff, and there's really nothing they could do about it. That's why I said that
Oh,
when Arnold Schwarzenegger ran for governor, it was the worst decision he ever made as a licensee guy because
right. Yeah,
his
yeah. Well,
fucking
this could
image was worth millions of dollars, and people were making shit because he was a public figure now.
right.
It was
This
like,
could jumpstart my Trump face urinal cake business, which I've really wanted to.
I yeah, this is gonna jumpstart my Trump fecal catcher. What was that? The diaper genie?
Yeah,
Diaper genies?
big
It
Trump
just
face.
Trump's mouth, big hole opens up and catches the diaper.
Yeah.
Dude, those things were so gross. I
Uh,
remember as a kid, like kid, I was an adult
yeah.
getting Roger's stuff out. It was like a long snake of like just
Yeah.
diapers. It was so
Someone bought us one and I never used it. We had a real small house when we lived in Florida, and I would walk each. I'd put it in like a plastic grocery bag and just take it out to the trash. I'm like, fuck if I'm having like a thing in here with that. Anyway.
yeah.
All right. So I guess we've gone completely away from threads, but we can hit our next topic, which was they canceled Acolyte.
Yeah, they canceled Acolyte.
Yeah.
Now we're never gonna find out who that little guy was that what was his name? Venestra was talking to in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was that little guy with the
Right.
ears? We're never gonna find out who that is.
Yeah. That'll
I
have to go
find
down.
it so they canceled it, and I find that crazy because they never cancel shit. They never outright cancel things. It's just
Right.
like, well, okay, we're
Stop
doing
making
it.
it.
They just don't make it, and they're like, oh yeah, it was like one season, but this one, like, I think the problem was actors and stuff from the show were like acting like there was gonna be a season two. So I think maybe that's why Disney was like, no, it's canceled. There's not gonna be a
Well,
season.
that might be the case, and I don't know this, but like they may have signed them to contracts saying like, well, you have to appear in the next season for this
Yeah, he
rate of
signed on to
pay.
like 2 or 3 seasons or something.
Yeah. And to release, to get out of paying them, they would have to officially cancel it. There's probably some legal reason, you're right.
That's like the
Uh
same thing. Like, what was it? Like Jupiter Circle on Netflix. They canceled that shit
oh,
quick.
Jupiter Rising, yeah.
It
Was
was
it Jupiter
Jupiter Circle.
Rising?
Jupiter Circle.
Was it?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. It
Yeah.
was based on a comic book called Jupiter Circle from Mark Millar. And I don't know if you ever saw it. It was on Netflix. They made a big deal about it. And it never they canceled it like literally within weeks after it aired on
That
Netflix.
sucks.
And it did, but so the problem with the Acolyte, besides okay, this is these type of shows, they need to get all the shit done the first season.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Like you
I think in
this shit.
general, TV shows need to start doing that. I mean,
Well, first of all, they need to give these shows more episodes than just fucking like 6 or 8.
yeah,
These like streaming services, like supposedly like Daredevil is gonna have like 13 or 18 episodes.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's gonna be like people are gonna be like, what? Like that's how shows are supposed to be. Like
Yeah.
She-Hulk had like 9 or something. It made a huge difference
Yeah.
having 9 episodes, and that one felt more like a TV show because each episode kind of told
Right.
its own, there was a story, there was some little overarching thing, but overall, it was episodic. The Mandalorian season 1 was like that. Mandalorian season
Yep.
2 was like that. Mandalorian season 3, a little bit here and there, but still episodic. Obi-Wan was just a movie stretched out in 6 parts.
Yep.
Book of Boba Fett, they fucked that one up just because, again, it was a
Yeah.
movie that they stretched out, then added Mandalorian in. Acolyte, I felt like the first episode, it was like, oh, this feels like a show more. And then it just turned into one story just stretched out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh, God.
no, what? I don't have anything.
It didn't. It was paced incorrectly, and I don't know how you could have fixed it, but like, it didn't feel like it was flowing. You know, there's a lot of little problems with it here and there, but
Like, okay, so you do a 2 episode night premiere, and then the next week you do an episode
a
that
flashback.
as a flashback and there's no bridge, there's no mention of current stuff and or even like answering for what happened in the second episode. So you kind of already fuck up the flow of the show right from the start.
Yeah,
Technically,
wasn't time for a flashback yet.
yeah, the second week. Like we talked about this when it aired. I said this is the kind of thing that should be like the 6th to 7th episode of the series where
Yeah,
we ran into all these different situations, and now it's time to reveal the past.
exactly. That's the moment. There's even like some
But
Greek word for it where you like, oh, this is the scene that shows you what happened in the past that makes you recontextualize everything you've seen.
it's like they say that the theory of like how you should watch the original trilogy
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
you watch Star Wars New Hope, you watch Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and then after Luke finds out that Darth Vader's his father,
Right.
now go back and they said don't watch 1, but whatever.
Yeah.
You watch 2 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
then you go back and watch Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you get that huge reveal. Vader tells him he's his father. And then you find out in the past,
Right. You get a flashback like 2/3 of the way into the story.
Yeah, and then you go back into the finale.
Right.
The joke is they ended up doing that anyway, making that third episode a waste of time. That episode should have been combined with that episode.
Yeah.
But the same thing happened with Book of Boba Fett. They had all those 4 episodes, and then they did the Mandalorian stuff, and then they just went right into the finale, and it was like, Boba Fett hasn't been on the show in like 3 weeks. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was weird.
that was fucking terrible. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was like from I don't know, producer or whatever. Like, it made no sense. I don't know. Like, the idea of the Jedi in the past sounds awesome.
Yep.
Now, if it was more like a show, it could have been like the Adventures of Soul.
Oh yeah.
Master Soul with his former apprentice, Osha. So you establish Osha and everything. And then they go on each episode, they go on like an adventure, and there's like a story building up in the background.
Right.
There's that episode where they confront, what was his name? Like Kamir or something? The guy with the cool mask.
They just call him the Stranger.
Yeah, that's right.
I forget his real name. I forget his name in the show.
It was like Kamir or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you do another couple episodes, and then you build up. You get Darth Plagueis in there.
Mm-hmm.
You just, we learn more about the Jedis, and instead they just do this like one story that's just padded out and repetitive.
And it's ultimately not even a very compelling story.
I mean, if it was like a 2-hour movie, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, this is something that happened back then.
Yeah, like a 2-hour movie, and you just shove all that into one movie that's like 2 hours, and it's paced better.
I kind of hope that they try this again, and maybe even bring some characters from this into a different show.
Well, that's what the theory is. Some people think that could happen because, like, first of all, like you're not gonna talk about like Darth Plagueis,
right?
I mean, I would have. So here's the fact why the show was canceled. One, it went woke, and everybody knows when you go woke, you go broke.
You go broke.
That is a
Truism.
fact that seems to never actually happen. Ignore X-Men 97 being in one of the most woke things Disney Plus ever aired, and also being
Right.
insanely popular things. It's so popular that even the MCU was like, okay, we need to like fast track the X-Men.
Right.
Like, speaking of it, did you hear about the Mayo guy, DeMayo?
No.
This stuff came out about him, the guy who was fired from X-Men 97.
Oh, you what? No, I did not hear this.
You
What
didn't see?
happened?
I thought I sent that to you. You didn't see it?
I don't think so.
Uh, I guess more the stuff. Well, he was like posting stuff, and he was like pissed that he's not attached or
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
then I guess Disney like finally like announced like what this guy did,
What
and
did he do?
I don't know if I want to talk about it on here. It's not like it's like kind of just funny and weird. It's not funny actually, but like he would send like the younger
Oh,
like
Jesus.
artists hero pose images of him, like and he'd be like, use me as like 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 a
That's just
model.
sad. That's not like fireable, that's like
What?
that's just sad. Like,
Well, and they were like kind of like, do you remember the episode when George takes the photo in Seinfeld?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it was, and then that other guy at the from the photo studio takes a picture too. That's like one
Yeah.
of the funniest episodes. And they're at the post office and they're like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I think it was more in line with that.
All right.
Like,
All
they
right.
were so it wasn't just that he had OnlyFans. I guess he was kind of
Okay. Forward with his
a little weird, putting people in awkward situations.
yeah.
Like I guess he's like this buff dude, so he's like, draw me, he'd be like giving photos of them, like
Yeah.
when you draw Wolverine later, use me as the body double. Like I don't know. Supposedly that's the story. That's what got
All
out.
right. Well, I mean
He's been
that's
pretty quiet after that. Like that, like I haven't seen any updates from that, but and I think there was some other things.
all
But
right.
but again, give it regardless, the guy did an amazing job with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
show, which is woke as fuck,
Yep.
is the everyone loved it. It was
Yeah.
people loved it so much that the chuds couldn't say anything.
Right.
Same with Fallout. Fallout
Yeah,
was
oh, yeah, yeah.
incredibly woke. I mean, you have a diverse cast.
Yep.
You have a very anti-capitalist message in the
Oh,
show,
super, yeah.
like super anti-capitalist. Like the whole reason Fallout happens because people are like, we have to meet quarterly things,
Right.
so we're gonna blow up the planet. It's like
Yeah.
insanity. Um, and that show was super loved and popular.
Yeah. Everyone liked it.
I saw some chuds try to say stuff, but it was ineffective. If you make a good thing, they don't have a voice. But the Acolyte, you get
It wasn't good enough to overcome that. Yeah.
no, it wasn't good at all. Like it had good moments. Like I said, I
Yep.
give it like a C plus altogether, but
Yeah.
I'm not shocked it was canceled. I think though it's strange because it's a Star Wars property and they introduce things into the lore. So
Yeah.
like, are they just gonna ignore all that shit? Or is it they'll like? I wouldn't mind if we saw Plagueis in like in every year around May the 4th they do that Tales of the
Sure.
Jedi and they did Tales of the Empire. They should do one with Plagueis
Yeah.
next. You know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean? Like, I'd be fine with that. I mean, I just think there's things, and like you even said, in theory can just do another show that has Khmer in it and
Yeah.
May and Darth Plagueis and Vernestra because most of the cast was killed in the Acolyte anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the four Jedi were killed, all the people that fought Khmer were killed. Like that, you in theory can just call it something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
All of a
honestly, you could
sudden,
just call it
all
the
of a sudden,
stranger.
Khmer and May are like fucking blonde hair, blue eyed, like some weird AI fantasy that shows
Oh,
make on
jeez.
like you know Darth
Yeah.
Plagueis looks like Donald Trump.
But
I'm
they
gonna
could.
be
I mean,
a Jedi. The Jedi would never tell you that. Yeah.
they could easily wrap up any loose ends in another show set in roughly the same time. Or honestly, they could even do like a flashback, like they did in Battles in Galactica 1980, when they solved what happened to Starbuck at the end of the
I
series.
never watched that show.
Oh,
I
you
think I
didn't?
saw like little snippets when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, they like Battlestar Galactica got canceled, like, no, it never had any ending. And then they pulled out this shitty like Galactica 1980 that ran for like a dozen episodes. But the last episode of that show was just what happened to Starbuck. Like it
Oh,
was a
that's kind of
flash.
cool.
Yeah, it was real cool. It was a flashback. Starbuck had crash landed on a planet with a Cylon, and he reprogrammed the Cylon to be his friend. It was like
Oh,
actually like for back in the day, it was a good
I want to
episode.
watch that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Then he became an
Um,
angel.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's that? Quantum Leap.
Yes. Yeah.
So this show was targeted by right wing chuds for like since they mentioned it like 2 years ago, whenever they started talking about the Acolyte, because they what's her name? Liz, what's the director or
Yeah.
the showrunner's name?
I do not remember. Catherine, what is it? Uh,
Leslie Headland.
okay,
They
yeah,
was all
yeah,
this. She's a queer woman. She's married to the woman actually who was the green bald lady in real life. They're
yep,
married, and these people were targeting this show. They would say shit like she was responsible for all the Harvey Weinstein stuff. I'm like, what the
yeah,
fuck? Like, did this? They found out the lead was played by a black woman. It was a diverse cast, and they targeted the shit out of the show. But like I said, it just sucks. And I saw someone bring up a good point and said that like Disney doesn't do a good job defending their these cast or any of
yeah,
these people. They don't defend their talent. Like they didn't really do a good job when what's her face, the one from The Last Jedi who played Rose Tico, she
yep,
was like harassed. She removed herself from social media.
yeah,
She took herself off social media because of like how horrible she was treated.
yeah. I remember
And
that.
Disney doesn't do a good job. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but they
It's
don't
a
do a good.
yeah, it's a weird thing too because it's like Disney owns like Star Wars and Marvel and everything, but like they they don't have like the same kind of corporate structure like in each and everything. I think I could see it getting jumbled as to like who's supposed to be doing
Well,
what,
if
you
you're
know.
gonna fucking have a diverse cast and everything, that you should fucking defend them.
Yeah.
When they get attacked by these fucking idiots.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
like, what was it? There was this like one guy who has like this. He's like some YouTuber who has like a huge account. Like he has like millions of subscribers, and he was shit on the Acolyte before it even ever aired. Like, and Star Wars Theory, or I forgot what this guy's name. He's some
Yeah.
and yeah, but he won in the end in some weird way. All these like parasitic trolls that like make all their content based off of new Star Wars stuff, like
Yeah.
he won because Disney. And I think what's going to happen, supposedly, it's going to get the fucking Willow treatment, where this shit is going to get pulled off of Disney Plus. Like you won't be able to even see the Acolyte, which is insane.
Yeah, that's a
Even
little
though I still
weird.
see ads for it. Like I still see ads for the Acolyte on like Facebook and stuff like that. Like watch the full series. I'm like,
Yeah, there may be some difference. Oh, there may be some difference with that and Willow because like Willow wasn't part of a franchise per
yeah, it
se.
was
You know
like
what I
a
mean? Like,
movie that a weird little movie from the 80s that like
yeah. I mean, if you watched Willow and really liked Willow, your
yeah, but
other
Willow's
op
Lucas also.
yeah, but your next option would be to watch the original movie.
And that's it.
But if you watch The Acolyte and you like The Acolyte, then you have so much content to go through.
Yeah.
It might be like a nice commercial, to leave up there. New generation of fans. I mean, like
Yeah.
I could see it making more sense to leave up Acolyte than
I don't know
Willow.
why they would remove it. And I heard like they canceled products or something. And I'm just
Mm,
like, I don't know. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I actually see what
yeah,
happens. Yeah, people want to like spread shit. Like, go woke, go broke.
right, right.
They're like so stupid. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, they said that this like the initial trailer was like review bombed. It was like the most review bombed,
yeah,
and it's
I
like
remember hearing that.
these people aren't even giving it a chance. It's like this shit was targeted for years by these chuds. Like they were targeting this shit. They wanted this to fail.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me too how Disney was so quick to fire like James Gunn after that shit came out.
Yeah.
It's proven bullshit. Like they make these brash decisions where they let the worst of like the internet like decide. Now I heard the reality probably what the Acolyte is, and I guess the way they do these shows is kind of similar to Netflix. They put up a show
Hmm.
and they see how many people, what is the drop off rate from the
Yeah.
first episode to the last episode. And it does not retain like 50% of the audience in the last episode. There's a really good chance it's not getting renewed.
Right.
Acolyte had a massive like the first episode was one of the most watched shows on Disney Plus, and the drop off was insane.
Yeah. I think that's a bullshit way to measure things because I remember when Cowboy Bebop came out on Netflix, they
Yeah.
canceled that before it even finished its run, you know.
Well, they
Uh
released those all at once on
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah, but like they canceled it within like a week or so. I don't think it even had enough time to accumulate like ratings, you know, in a traditional sense.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember I watched the first couple episodes and I liked it just fine. And then I took like a few days before watching the next
Right.
couple.
Like
Like I just
you
had shit
can't
going
expect
on.
people to watch 30, like 20 hours of TV or 10
Yeah.
hours or 6 hours of TV all in one sitting. Like,
I mean, I honestly, I probably got back into watching it after I heard it got canceled because it happened so quick.
yeah, they cancel
And
like within 2 weeks.
yeah, and honestly, like you said, I mean, sometimes I just got shit going on. I don't have 20 hours to devote to
I don't know how
TV.
you do the metrics on it. I mean, they're
Yeah.
treating these streaming services and are treating their shows like a YouTube video drop or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Yeah.
known fact. I make YouTube videos. They, I get the most views in that first day. If it doesn't do well in that first day, it's probably not going to do that great going forward unless something, I don't know, gets shared by someone. That's rare
Right.
as fuck. But like they're treating it almost similar. They're not allowing nurturing. They said Seinfeld would never exist
No, no, right.
ever.
Yeah, it would have been canceled like
Buffy would never exist.
Friends. I don't think would have,
Friends,
yeah.
no, Friends was pretty much a hit out the gate.
Was it? I don't
Yeah,
remember it that
it
way,
was
but yeah,
super.
it could be.
It was super popular right out the gate. I remember that shit. But Seinfeld was not. It took like 3 seasons for that shit to get like. It
Yeah.
wasn't until like the middle of season 2 that it felt like the show was done right. That first season's like it's like a weird like prototype of the show. It's not there at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that they renewed it, like that shit. That's why I always get annoyed about Seinfeld when he complains and does this shit. It's like, dude, you were the luckiest motherfucker. You got
Right.
successful at the perfect time in history. If your show aired today or 5 years ago, it would not, it would have been DOA.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's
that's
his
true.
face said Eugene Levy's son from
Uh
Schitt's Creek,
yeah. What's his name?
Dan
Daniel?
Levy, I think.
Yeah, Dan, right.
Eugene Levy Jr.
Yes.
I could call him taller Eugene Levy.
Right.
Uh, he said the owner that Schitt's Creek, everyone assumed Schitt's Creek was a Netflix show. And it
That
was
was like a
not.
Canadian show or
Pops,
something.
it was like Pop TV Network or whatever. I didn't even heard of it. And he
Yeah.
said the show got popular and it became very super popular on Netflix after like season 4. It was huge.
Mhm.
But he said if this show aired initially on Netflix, he's like, I don't know if we would even gotten like if maybe we would have gotten a second season. That probably would have been it.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
100% right. The way they operate now with Star Wars, it's just weird. I don't know. It looks like supposedly what they're announcing is that Skeleton Crew is going to be a limited series. So
Hmm.
they're just saying that right out the gate. So it better tell a fucking complete story,
Right.
or at least don't leave a whole bunch of integral shit open.
Right.
Like the joke is, in a way, the Acolyte does tell a complete story, somewhat, in
Yeah.
a
I
way,
mean, sure.
because there's a resolution with Soul and everything and all that shit. But then you leave everything else open. Then all of a sudden you see like the back of Yoda's head, and you see what is probably Darth Plagueis in the cave.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what the fuck, like don't. Um,
Right. That next season looks better than this one. That next season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't put your like. I get it.
Why
Save
didn't
the
you tell
sequel,
that
but
story?
like, what?
Why didn't you tell that story? Why didn't you?
Like, fine. Even just one episode would plague you.
Yeah.
One whole episode would plague you. I guarantee you, if there was an announcement and that like he was gonna be the villain and like, and it would lead to a second episode. I
Right.
guarantee
Right.
you that last episode would have gotten much more ratings, and that shit would have been on next.
Yeah.
We would have had
For
a sequel
sure.
or something. We would have had some continuation of the story, guaranteed, because people would have tuned in to watch that shit, knowing that he was going to be in it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I don't know. They're just making these bad decisions, but it seems like the reality is, and we'll move on to the next thing in a second. They are starting to get back into doing movies. They haven't had a movie since 2019 with the Force
Yeah.
Awakens.
It's
Oh,
been like
not Force.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be It's over 5 years now, and I think not next year, but the year after is when Mandalorian comes out. Yeah, we're not getting a season 4. We're getting a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting a season 2 of Acolyte. It seems like, except for Skeleton Crew, the only planned show that we're going to get on Disney Plus, I don't even know when this shit airs. I don't know if it's next year, might be next year, is Ahsoka season 2. Oh, we're
Yeah.
getting Andor season 2.
Yeah, that'll be real good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's going to end, which is fine, whatever. I'm glad at least they know they wrote it that it's.
Well, and we know how that story ends.
They're doing well. What's cool about it too? Again, it's like each 4 episodes supposedly is a year. So where we were left off is like 4 or 5 years before New Hope, where
Okay.
Rogue One lands.
Yep.
So like next season will be a year later, and then the next 4 episodes will be like 3 years later, and it'll basically lead into Rogue One.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So, yeah, it'll be good, but I don't know. I think supposedly Marvel's got a better way of doing this. They have like a separate studio now for TV shows. If they're gonna do TV shows with Star Wars, they gotta treat it like a TV show.
Yeah, no, that
Now,
makes
I will
sense.
say last thing too is that like I think one of the criticism I think was bullshit. They said the show looked cheap.
No, I did hear that, but I disagree
I
completely.
disagree. I mean, I where like yeah, some things did look like they were on a set, but that show did not look cheap. I don't know what I'm getting really tired of this shit. I'm getting tired of these like critiques I see. Like the color grading's weird. Like everyone's a fucking color grading expert on the
Yeah.
internet. Like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
asshole can say what you're saying. Like I don't know. All right. DNC convention.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, Joseph?
It was great.
Well, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
We're done. Let's
No,
go on to the next one.
I think it was great. Honestly, you had said this before we started recording. You said that like you can tell how a campaign run is going to go, or a presidency might go by how the convention is put together. And I thought that this one was really well planned. I thought the speakers were inspired. I thought that the tone was real good. It was happy, but also like feisty.
I like my conventions to be feisty and
yeah,
a
well,
little
you know what I mean.
and a little sassy. Like
Well, you know what I mean. Like there's a difference
sassy.
between being like angry and being like there's obviously a better word than feisty, but there's like assertive, you know, like
Yoda was feisty. Would say feisty when you were.
yeah, right. Well, I thought it was real good.
I liked Hakeem Jeffries. I caught his thing. I would listen to it while I was driving. I would play it live, and his was like that Donald Trump was like an old boyfriend. Like you got to treat like we got rid of you the first time. We're not gonna get back with you. There's a reason why we dumped you.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing, and God, it's such a minor criticism, but like I do wish that they had said that more concretely, like what Hakeem Jeffries was getting at. It's like you are offering nothing new. This is
He
the
did
same.
say that though. I mean,
yeah,
some of these speakers only have like 2-minute speeches, so they want to get their little jokes in, and the bigger players like
right.
Obama and Clinton and Walls, like they get to have like a little more time to breathe. Like I will say the one criticism, like Kitzinger, like yeah, it's okay, but like why did he get like the last night and such a high, like such a prime time speech, Kissinger? Like Kissinger hasn't been relevant in the Republican Party in like since
Yeah.
Trump's been in the White House. Like that guy is like, yeah, he's a Republican, but like he's one of the like I think he wasn't he like one of the ones who initially impeached him the first time? Like
I yeah.
I think so. I think he was one of the original impeachers,
He
like on the
was.
Republican
It
side.
was him and Cheney. Yeah.
Cheney, I don't think Cheney impeached him the first time. Maybe she, I don't know.
I don't know.
Did she impeach him with Ukraine, the whole Ukraine thing? I don't think so.
Well, I do get the idea that they wanted to show like they want to be open to Republicans, to disaffected
Right.
Republicans.
I get it. I just think it was weird that he got such a
Yeah.
high. Now it's fine. He gives like a, you don't want to put like a big Democratic star so close to the president.
Right.
He serves a purpose of like, hey, this is a safe place to come here. You still, you're patriotic.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't represent you. Trump is not the Republicans that I know. He's totally destroyed. He's totally taken over the party, and like, it's not what it used to be. This, I feel welcomed here. I get it. It's like it's
Yeah.
generic. Both parties kind of do this, even though I don't think what Republicans have like Tulsi Gabbard or something. I don't
Yeah.
even know.
It's
Did she speak? I don't even know if she spoke at the convention.
I think she did. I don't remember. But you're right. For the last few conventions, the Republicans and Democrats have each had like
That's always been like a classic thing. Like,
yes,
uh,
it's been a thing.
what's his face? Al Gore's VP guy, that shithead from
Oh
Connecticut.
yeah.
Joe Lieberman. He spoke at
Joe Lieberman.
he spoke at the Shane at the McCain one.
Right.
And it was so funny. He's like, "What is a Democrat like me doing here?" And the joke was like, "You're not a Democrat. You
Right.
left the
You're a
party. Like
yeah, you're an
you ran as an
independent.
independent. Like
Yeah.
like you lost your primary and decided, no, I need to, ruin everything." And
Right. Ned Lamont
basically,
beat him.
you were able to siphon votes from the Democrat, and you got all the Republicans to vote for you. So that's how you beat that guy in Connecticut. Um, I'm trying to think of anything. I think Kamala's speech. I heard some critiques like Kamala's speech was kind of like didn't go super deep into like super progressive politics, but I feel like that's where Tim Walz worked when he talked about guaranteed housing and where
Yeah.
like Harris's speech needs to be more like somewhat centrist a bit. Like, still, I got a little nervous when she started talking about Israel. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because it like at first it's like we will defend Israel. I'm like, oh no, like this is
Right.
gonna piss off like every fucking progressive who's like been excited about it. But then she said this stuff about Palestine, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, she didn't go into a long discussion about what she's gonna do, but the fact that she acknowledges the existence and saying that they have a right to exist and
Yeah.
not get killed in Gaza and stuff like that. That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
That's a
Most
massive, massive deal. And people need to like realize like it could be like bullshit. It could be viewed as bullshit, but measured rhetoric. See, that's what I heard. Sorry, I know I'm cutting you off a second.
yeah.
Donald Trump is not a measured politician, or at
No.
least he
No.
never in the beginning he was. I feel like now when he says stuff, it's definitely it's not so off the cuff. It's shit that they planned on doing. But usually when a politician says something, especially when they're a presidential candidate or they're the president or whatever, the words they're not talking out of their asses. Like
Right.
this
Right.
shit was back room talking about it. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna workshop this? How are we gonna word this? So the fact that she said all these things, that's a big fucking deal. That's a
Yeah.
big fucking deal. It's called bringing up kids being killed. It sends a message to Netanyahu. I truly believe if Kamala Harris wins, Netanyahu is gone.
Yeah, I think that's probable, you know. I liked that too. I was similarly like when she brought up Israel and everything, but like honestly that probably is the best response. I mean, if in a perfect world like of course Israel could exist, but Palestine could exist too. I mean, like these aren't like crazy ideas, you know. I mean,
It's just the idea that it's acknowledged, it's said on the stage, it's said
right.
at the Democratic convention, it's said at the major speech for the candidate. That's a huge deal. And
Yeah.
if people can't see that, I don't know what to tell them. Like,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
say it was useless problem, you could say whatever, but that's a big deal. That's like when, you know, in 2012, when Obama and Biden backed gay marriage. That
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
huge fucking deal. And it led to gay marriage being legalized less than 2 years later.
Right.
The big fucking deal. Like, Trump wants to level Palestine.
Oh yeah, they want to turn it into a resort, like a
He
beach
wants
resort or
to
something.
wipe these people out. He wants it flattened so that his son-in-law can go in there and anyone else, and they could turn it into some money-making operation
Yeah.
where they could do resorts and beachfront property. Now, I don't know. It's so gross. The whole thing is
It
just
is. It's awful. But I thought her speech was real good. I remember you and I were kind of texting back and forth as she was giving it, and I thought it started out a little like pedestrian, or it was fine,
yeah, I mean,
but
she's
then
talking
it
about
really,
personal stuff and her mom and
yeah,
everything.
but it picked up speed real nicely. I thought there's just like a lot of great moments. Okay, so the first night, I got their speakers lineup here. The first night, the big heavy hitters were Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Jill Biden.
But someone
AOC was,
posted that picture, that hideous picture of Trump from Getty
yeah,
that's going around, where he
yeah.
looks like he's like dying. It says, TFW, you want to drink from the Holy Grail, but you chose poorly. That was great.
That's a
Okay,
good
sorry,
one.
go ahead.
No, those were the heavy hitters. AOC was real good. I thought Hillary Clinton's speech was real good. I
I mean,
thought Joe
Clinton,
Biden's
let me
speech
tell you,
was real
man,
good.
Clinton's old.
Oh well, Bill, are you talking about Bill Clinton?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Bill Clinton
he,
looked very old.
he said it himself. He's like, I don't know how many more conventions I could do. He said I guess people don't live that long in his family. He's the oldest living man in his family. He's
Yeah,
only 78. I love that he pointed out that he's younger than Donald Trump.
yeah, I saw,
That was
I
funny
saw
when he
that.
said that. But like,
He,
I remember seeing speeches of the man, he had heart issues, he had heart surgery and stuff
yep,
like that.
yeah, he had a
I,
poor that McDonald's joke. He made, because he that was a big deal. I remember SNL had
they would say he
bits
was
about
fat.
him. Yeah.
He was just like a
Uh,
little pudgy.
right. I mean, looking back on him now, it's funny to think we'd ever call him that, because he just looks like
Well,
an average.
the first year of him, he is a little, yeah,
Yeah,
he,
but
a little,
he looks like an average guy. I mean,
yeah, a little husky, but
yeah.
not Trump.
Um,
I think Trump was like, even though I feel like he's lost a lot of weight, but I feel like it's like that weird. Well, supposedly he's using Ozempic, supposedly Trump,
okay.
but I feel like
Yeah.
it's also that weird, like, am I losing weight because I'm trying to lose weight, or am I losing weight because
Right.
I'm old and dying and
I
I'm
have
losing mass like
I
on a
have like skinny cat disease or something
yeah,
like.
yeah. Like that's unfortunately what's going on with my cat, and it's
Oh
sad because
no,
he's
I'm
old. He's
sorry.
old. He's like
Yeah,
15,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's
Right.
got like thinner and like
Yeah.
skinny cat disease.
We've had cats where that you're like, oh my god, they're like, it's like literally they feel like a bean bag or something like.
Yeah, I can't handle it. But like, you know, because when he was president, he was a chunk.
Yeah,
He'd lie and say he was only like 200 something pounds. I was like,
right.
dude, you were bordering on 300. Who are you fucking
But he
kidding?
would wink while he said that, and he'd have ketchup on his lip.
Yeah,
Like,
like he has a fucking half a cheeseburger on his tie. Like
I saw
he's
him
sitting there
speak.
eating a Snickers bar, chocolate on his face.
I when I lived in Florida, I went to go see him speak at this like weird community. This was when Hillary was running for president, and it was a weird like community center in like right on the water in Florida. And there wasn't a lot of people, and it was a small venue, so you had to get a ticket. You had to get the ticket through the Democrats' office and everything. Anyway, that guy, he spoke for like an hour and a half, literally off the top of his head. I mean, the guy's just an amazing speaker.
Oh
And they
yeah.
said at this one, he had a teleprompter going, but he was ignoring it the whole
He
time.
said
Like
that
the
he was writing his speech up until that day or something.
yeah,
I mean, he's still
yeah,
sharp. And then again, Biden too. Like Biden's speech was
yep,
incredible. And
Yeah, real
the
good.
people think like that was the speech he was probably going to give if he was the nominee.
Mm,
I like, part of me felt like bad, but I'm also like wondering, like, people are saying like, "Oh, is that disrespectful because he got the speech in the first night?" Let me tell you, man, that first day, you had some fucking bangers. You had AOC,
oh, yep.
Rocket, um,
You had Hillary
obviously
Clinton.
Biden.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton was the first night or second night?
I think she was
I
the
think that
first
was.
night.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, like you had banger speeches,
Yeah.
and it was like I remember after Biden's speech, I was like, I don't know, like it's like 3 more days of this.
Yeah. You
That's
had a lot
crazy.
of people. Like I'm not gonna like comment on each of them,
It was a
but
big fucking show on the first night. It wasn't like a usually the first night's like a
Raphael
throwaway.
Warnock was the
Yeah,
first night.
yeah.
That guy was amazing.
AOC was incredible. Like her
Yep.
speech was fucking insane. Like,
I'll say that's the one thing that I loved about the convention is that um it showed what a super deep bench the Democrats have.
yeah,
So many people I was like, I could see, look, AOC has a big future.
it was
Warnock probably
slick.
has a future.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
Um,
slick. The whole convention, the way it's done, that's what they say. Like, like Trump's was like looked like a county fair compared to fucking.
yeah, right.
But like that first night, it like they even said because I remember even Trump was like, "Yeah, first night's a throwaway night." No, it wasn't. They
No.
had heavy hitters on that day. That shit was like wild. It was almost like this is the first night. Like, what are the other nights going to be like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Biden's speech
Um,
was great. I wonder if there's some, I wonder it's like if it is something like,
is it?
obviously he had that horrible debate.
Yeah.
Fact, they were able to get Trump to do it early is kind of funny. Probably played into his ego or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Deal is, but maybe it was like again, like okay, if I go out there and I'm just terrible, or he like, or he maybe, or who knows, maybe fucking did this on purpose and he fucking magooed it on
I
purpose so
don't.
that like to set Trump up so
I
that
don't think so. I think.
because there could be something wrong with him, like not like a cognitive, like he has dementia, but maybe he has like early
Yeah.
onset Parkinson's or something that would make it that he would not be able to be president in 4 years.
Right. Well, I mean, like it worked. It worked out the way it worked out. I feel bad because I like Joe Biden a lot.
I mean,
I
again, she has to win. They have to
Yeah.
make sure she wins for this to be like the
Right.
ultimate chess playing ever. And
But the numbers say she's in much better space. Now, the one weird thing is I think, and you could make a good argument for this, is that Biden was beating Trump. Biden was statistically beating Trump up until a couple days before he dropped out. Um, and some of this may have just been a creation of the media. Now we all saw that debate, so like that's not a creation of anyone
but
except
no one asked Trump to drop out. He's
yeah,
awful. His speech was terrible. It
yeah.
sounded like a meandering old drunk who
He
won't let go of the
often
mic.
gets things wrong. I mean, he slurs his words. He gets
He's
basic
low
facts
energy.
wrong.
He's
Yeah,
low energy now.
we've all seen him like have trouble with stairs. We've seen him like have trouble holding glasses of water and stuff.
That
So
old picture.
yeah, yeah. So like, I mean, it isn't like it isn't like Biden was old and Trump was young. I mean, like Trump had all the stuff that they were complaining about with Biden. So
Yeah.
uh I don't know.
Well,
Um
that's the joke too. And they said the fact that, again, like the whole world changed after the freaking Republican convention where Biden announced that weekend, I'm dropping out, and then Kamala
yeah,
gets in. And the fact is that she's pulling higher than him like almost immediately.
yeah,
Like she's the nominee, and then she picks Waltz, and Waltz is like incredibly popular.
yeah. That guy's and he's so good. That even and like this is probably the only time I'll ever say anything about Ben Shapiro, but even Ben Shapiro had the wherewithal to repost that photo of Gus Walls crying, and Ben Shapiro goes like, "This is actually pretty sweet." Like, I mean, like,
Oh, I saw them all say that. Like Ann Coulter said something nasty, so I guess
oh, and Coulter, yeah, but like Ben Shapiro actually said something like relatively nice about it. Genuinely, I think. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm just saying like
Yeah, no,
even
I
like
they
shitty
didn't want
people
to
are
be.
like,
Even Matt Walsh was like, "You shouldn't be doing this. This is like
right.
too much." Well, supposedly the kid is a nonverbal autistic.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either, but
Yeah,
supposedly he is. And again, I could be wrong. So if anyone's listening to this,
right.
I am not 100% sure. I
But that
see,
makes
the problem with
sense.
this election, just in general, is there's so many different stories going around, and I'm not a fucking reporter.
Right.
I'm not going to spend all the time in the world investigating to make sure this is 100% true.
It,
Supposedly, this is true. So the fact, and again, regardless if he is nonverbal autistic or not, the idea of Ann Coulter attacking somebody's kid for being emotional when his father is accepting the
yeah.
nomination for VP candidate and giving a speech that's going to be seen by the world. Like, that's a big fucking deal. I mean, she's an old, disgusting.
Yeah.
She's like literally like the witch. You ever see that show movie, The Witches or whatever, with like Angelica Houston,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you turn that kid into a mouse?
Yeah.
But like the scene when they reveal like what they really look like, they take their hair off and they have like they're all hideous and like
Yeah.
Isn't Angelica Houston the one who played?
It's
It's
Bette
the one who
Midler,
played.
Angelica Houston,
No, you're
and
you're mixing Hocus Pocus, dude. Bette Midler is not
oh
in.
shoot, you're right.
You're mixing your witch movies. No, this is I think it's Angelica Houston the one who played Morticia in the Adams.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's her. She's like the craziest looking witch. Like she's like the grossest one when she takes off, like her whole face changes. She's like a literal monster. Um,
Yeah.
they like she's like one of those things or something. I mean,
Right. Right. She is. Yeah.
she
And
she
Coulter.
deleted it. She went back and deleted because it was so poorly received. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, that was great. They had this. I only saw a clip of it, but the Central Park Five was there today at the
Oh
convention.
yeah, I saw clips of that on Twitter. But yeah,
Good.
I did not see.
Donald Trump fucking wanted these guys executed.
They were saying that because the tweet kind of linked to a story, and I was reading the story. I think it was from Vanity Fair or something. But they said that Donald Trump was calling them guilty as recently as 2016. You
Yeah,
know, um,
never apologized. These people were never
no,
guilty of anything.
no, yeah, that is gross. Um, they were there. I don't know if you saw this, but they brought the guy who prosecuted Trump for the Trump
No,
University
I didn't
case.
see those. You were telling me about
He was
that they
there.
had prosecutors there.
Someone else who prosecuted Trump was there. I liked the thing I liked about this is, and I'm knocking on wood as I say this, um, the Democrats really seem to have learned the lessons of their failures. It's like literally like watching the coyote get a box from Acme and saying like, no, not this
I'm not
time.
using it this time.
I'm returning this and
I'm
going to a
literally going
better
to put my foot out and just trip that bird
right.
by.
Or like Lucy with the football to Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown's like, nah, I'm good. I think I'm gonna go watch TV or something,
Yeah,
because like all the things that the Democrats usually screw up, they have not. They've addressed
they want to
things.
take some weird moral high ground and claim like some decorum from the
No,
past that never really existed.
yeah. And so when the Democrats came out swinging, painted Trump and Vance as weird and never let up on it. And
Yep.
then
And
they
then
kind
and
of
every time these people try to prove they're not weird, they just are weirder. Like that video of like
yep.
Trump going, and then they said I was weird. And it
Yeah.
looks like he's playing like an invisible accordion while he's doing it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're weird as fuck, man.
And they gave kind of a subtle wink and a nod to the memes, like the couch fucker meme and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, yeah, exactly. That's what someone posted. It was like the couch is there to speak at the DNC tonight.
Right.
They got him. They got the couch. The
um you know
couch
they,
is there.
they did that, and then they didn't fuck around when they tried to like attack Walls's military record or Kamala
No,
Harris
they they
being
they didn't
black or
get
whatever.
defensive. They didn't get defensive. They acknowledged his military. They
Yep.
didn't say like they didn't question anyone else's. They didn't go after JD
Yeah.
Vance, Coffee Boy, or anything like that. They just kept it. Now, listen, Walls might say something at the debate with Vance if Vance says anything,
Yeah.
because Vance has been constantly saying that he has stolen valor, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Like,
There's a big article in the Washington Post where they talked to a bunch of veterans, and almost all the veterans were like, "This is just stop this, and talk about what you're going to do." Um,
good. I mean,
and
well,
that
it
makes
just shows they don't
sense.
really have anything on him. Clearly, it
Yeah,
didn't work. It doesn't get talked about. Now I see they're trying to say he's gay, which is so fucking like, okay, you're a child. Like, that's so
yeah,
stupid. Like, they're like, Walls
yeah,
is really gay. And it's like,
right.
what are you, 5? He's a gay lord. Like, what? Like, they're really saying this shit. Like, they're
Well,
still pushing the horse. Like, all the dumb shit. They had
yeah.
nothing on this guy. Was
Well,
like, he was like the smartest pick.
yeah. Someone said, and this really
Like,
made a
I'm
lot of
sorry. I know
sense.
you. Go ahead. What?
No, go. You finish your
I
thought, and
know
then
you love Josh Shapiro. I saw his
yeah,
speech.
he's good.
He's fine. He's definitely an Obama clone. Like, I never
Yes.
seen him speak before, and I heard he was an Obama clone. And then listening to the speech, I was like, telling my wife, I'm like, he is a literal Obama clone. Like the way he talks, the way he says words, and like even his voice, the way it goes
Yeah.
up and down a little bit. I was like, this guy
You
went
could
to be Obama, and that's not a bad thing because Obama is
no.
one of the greatest orators in modern history.
Yeah, you could tell though that he was watching Obama when Obama got nominated and was like, "This
He's
will be
just
me
sitting
one
there
day."
like
Yeah, I'm just
pantomiming it.
right.
Like
Exactly. Yeah.
he, he's like karaokeing Obama speeches, like he's at a bar
Yeah.
singing fucking I don't know
Well,
some
I will
song
say this.
probably.
Someone said, this isn't my thought, but someone said that the Democratic convention was like a neighborhood you'd want to live in. Like all the characters were there, and they said it in a way that made it sound like
You didn't
good.
have like somebody with mass deportation now
Right.
signs and
No,
shit.
no. It was like, okay, so you have like Tim Walz, who's clearly the guy that's going to help you mow your lawn if you hurt your back or whatever. You have Kamala Harris, who's like clearly like high powered, kind of like younger person that's like, a strong woman. You had like Nancy Pelosi, who's kind of like the mom from Schitt's Creek or whatever, that was like, but these are all like real recognizable figures.
Mom
You
from
have
Schitt's Creek. I don't know if that's a good
it is. You have like
like the
Mayor
mom from
Pete,
Arrested Development.
Mayor Pete, who's like kind of like young and hip. He's like, a modern gay couple with kids, but he's also like a soldier who was like a sniper or something. I
Right.
mean, like
Everything's like central casting.
it
Like,
is. I mean, it was like
and then you
every
got the Republicans, and everyone's a fucking weirdo.
fucking weirdo white dude that like wants women studied for science or something. Like
If you have if you have IVF and you have 12 babies, you
right?
better have give birth to all 12 babies, or that makes you a serial killer. And I should know I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Right, yeah, like that kind of shit. But like the Democratic convention, anybody could look at the Democratic convention and find someone that looked like them. They even had a guy with a mullet tonight. Did you
That
see
there
that
you
guy?
go. Got it.
The guy with a mullet who said
Just
like
one.
he's like, I'm a redneck and blah blah, and like, but
Wait,
like,
he spoke?
yeah, he was a speaker. Like
Like was the guy from the guy from Ghost World that's in the parking lot
it
with the
was Joe,
nunchucks?
his name was Joe Dirt. No, let me
Joe
see it.
Dirt.
Like
Yeah, I hate that movie so bad. I
it
remember getting so
was
made about that movie because like the plot
yeah,
was
it's
like, yeah, let's
stupid.
put David Spade in a mullet, but then you find out it's just like a wig that was fused to him as a kid.
Yeah.
That made me hate it so much because of that. I was like, can't you just have a mullet because it's funny? And that's it.
What was this guy's name? Was it John Russell? Let's see, John Russell.
I don't
Uh
I don't want to know this legend's name.
yeah, he's from Appalachia. And he's a labor movement guy. He's listed as a content creator, which makes me a little suspicious. But
Ah, us mullet.
yeah,
I'm a proud mullet American.
you looked at him and he's just like, hey, we unions make Appalachia work. I mean, he's going on. Anyway, anybody could look at the Democratic convention and find someone that literally looked like them, talked like them, had the same back. Anybody could. Everybody I know could. They even had like you said, like a Republican there, like a middle class
They
white
had a bunch
Republican.
of Republicans there. They had the
Yeah.
what was it, the Mesa, Arizona was there, the
Oh
mayor,
yeah, yeah.
Republican, you know.
But like the Republican convention was like angry white dudes that want women, monitored.
That's all
I
weird
mean,
shit. You know, we're gonna protect women's sports. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
speaking of that, this that woman that was attacked by the right, people were bringing up a good point, said that you haven't
Oh
heard
yeah, yeah.
anything from that what's her face hasn't said anything in like weeks since that.
Right, right.
J.K. Rowling has been like dead quiet.
I saw something on TikTok. There's a woman, Stanzi Polenta. She's really funny. She has a TikTok out where the stain, the stain
Oh, the
on,
mold on the wall.
yeah, the
Supposedly
mold
she
on
has
the
black
wall,
mold, and that's why she's like crazier now.
but the
Like,
mold is like a demonic spirit, like forcing J.K. Rowling to say transphobic things and oh, anyway,
I don't think that fucking idiot needs
no.
help with
But it
mold. I
was
mean,
so good. The convention was so good. Like every night it was
the
like a good.
Obama was good. What's her
He was good.
uh Michelle Obama was great. I love
Yep.
that, you know, when she does the whole like gives her like a catchphrase for everybody to repeat.
Yeah.
And she like caught herself and was like, I'm not gonna tell you guys to go high, go low.
Right,
She
right.
said, if you see something wrong, do something. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
better. It's a call to action. You're not
Much
trying to
better.
gain some higher moral ground here. You know, you're not trying to like you know what I mean? Like that's not some
Yeah.
like, oh, we need to be better than them. It's like, no, these people, if you see trouble, do
Yeah.
something. A call to
That was
action.
good. And tonight they said, like, or maybe it was last night, and one of these nights it was like, when we fight, we win.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like you got to this is a fight.
What do you
This
think
is
of the
not.
catchphrase, we're not going back?
I'm torn on it. Like the one weird part, and someone pointed this out, and
Better
like
than
it,
Trump loves hate. What is it? Love Trump's hate. That was
yeah,
awful.
that was bad. But part of the problem with that, I think, is that it like lumps Biden's years in with Trump's. You
I
know
don't
what I
care.
mean?
That doesn't matter. Well, I mean,
Anyway,
Trump
but
was a president and he's running again. So
yeah,
I think it brings into it reminds people like, yeah, we're not going back to this. Like, we voted
yeah,
you out in 2016.
I
Like,
do like that. And a
we
few of the yeah, we're not going back. A few of the
it's
speakers even said like, do you remember, it was just like nonstop chaos. We don't
yeah,
nobody wants that again. Like,
like even if COVID didn't happen, like the Trump, it's funny. Trump uses like COVID as a reason why the uh what was it? Not the depression, but the with it what's
oh,
the
the recession.
what?
The
Recession. Yeah.
recession. Yeah.
Yeah, the massive recession that happened. It was gonna happen under Trump regardless of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said that. Like they called it like a zombie economy. Like
Yeah.
he didn't do anything before. All that fucker did was just give a tax cut. That's it.
He
But this
never
time
he
around, he's gonna have all these like fucking what was it, Cloven Hoover fucking troglodytes and his who want to do that Project 2025 thing.
yeah,
I'm glad they brought it up. I'm glad that
they
Kamala said
should.
it. They're not running away from it. They're gonna hold him to it. And Trump will be like, we had nothing to do with it. But here's this guy I love. His name's like Tom Moran or whatever. He wrote
I
fucking Project 2025. Like,
have a project 2520 and I'm
yeah, I'm
uh
actually a big fan of the Project 2525, that that song.
right.
In the year 2525.
I I am going to have Cleopatra
That's
2525
a
be my new.
great show.
That was a
Classic
great one.
TV.
Jennifer
Yes.
Sky, she's so good. Um, well, yeah, so that's my review of the convention. I definitely couldn't think of anything.
Again, though, Kamala's speech versus like not even talking about context or content of what the actual speech was, but the delivery,
Yeah,
energy, the crowd. Then you look at Trump's speech, and it's just this guy like just going on for like an hour and a half
grievance,
about like,
grievance
and
after
there was blood
grievance.
on the floor, there was blood everywhere, there was blood, and just
Yep,
and I'm gonna no men are gonna be in women's sports, and then I'm gonna
yeah,
do this. And it's like
fucking
so
cares.
fucking boring, man. go away already. Can we just like move on from this fucking guy already? Like, come on. Like the idea that she or even fucking Biden, I was like pissed about it. That's why I think it wasn't just that Biden was pushing. I think there was something debilitating going on that would have prevented him from doing another 4 years. I really truly believe that some of this shit was planned for a while. That's why they
Yeah,
agreed to do that early debate. Kind of like I said, I'm gonna go out there. Of course, he's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna drop out." He wanted to, you don't want to give away the game yet. You don't want to allow the Republicans to, everyone's like, he needs to drop out. It's like, no, man, wait till after the fucking
yeah,
convention because you don't want to drop out like a week before the convention and then they can
right,
like spend the entire time attacking Kamala.
right,
They don't know
yeah,
what to
yeah,
do. You get Kamala in there, and what does Trump do immediately? Because he can't help himself. He's going around saying that she's not
yeah,
black. And then he's going around saying that she's hates Jewish people. And it's like, what?
yeah.
She's married to a Jewish person. She has Jewish kids. I mean, they're
That's
not
another.
hers by birth, but they are kids, like from a
No, but that's another thing I think where it's like
and she's black. It's
it's
insane.
super relatable. Like there are so many mixed families out there where it's like where they're blended families where you have like partners like kids with other partners and they've kind of blended into a family. You have people with like of different ethnicities marrying different religions. I mean, this is like what modern America looks like. I think it's all super relatable. People can look to that and again just find something that feels like much more relatable than I'm like real old and mail ordered a Russian supermodel, like I mean
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not even just that. Like, yeah, and I'm horrible to my kids. The only time
yeah.
I ever show any excitement is when Hulk Hogan ripped his shirt. I don't give a shit about my children. I'm literally caught on camera falling asleep during my son's speech.
Yeah. I mean it's
I don't even consider the existence of my son's daughter, who
right.
is mixed race, I guess. And like he's so fucking disgusting. And then you see it's like the people at the DNC convention look human.
Yeah.
They look like regular people. Now
Yeah.
you can say it's all performative, but guess what? All politics. You're not gonna believe this.
Right.
It's
It's
gonna be
all
crazy.
performative.
Dustin, this is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your fucking mind. Politics is performative. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The most successful politicians are also the greatest performers.
Yeah. I mean it's
Look
yeah.
at Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. Barack Obama is one of the greatest performers in politics.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was one of the greatest performers in
Oh, he's
politics.
great. Yeah.
Harris is a great performer tonight.
Yep.
She did an
Oh,
amazing job.
she's
Biden's
definitely
an incredible
yeah.
performer. He just
Yeah.
aged. His speech was so much more powerful than Trump's speech.
Yeah.
And it drives me, and we'll move on to the next thing in a little bit. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else from the convention, but the thing that drives me nuts is how, again, the media, it's equal footing bullshit that like Kamala or Joe Biden or whatever has to be held to the same footing as Trump
Yeah, it's
that
nonsense.
that Trump can say whatever the fucking shit he wants, say all the nonsense, look decrepit, look like shit, sound like shit, say all the insane
Yep.
shit, and he is not held. He's never once said, maybe it'd be wise if Trump dropped out of the not,
Right. Yeah.
Republicans. Like I saw some of the most stupidest headlines, like Variety put out some dumb headline, like, with showing Clinton, Democrats rely too much on the past. It's like, the fuck? Wait, okay, hold on. It's a DNC convention.
Right.
So it's to celebrate. That's why I said the RNC convention is a disaster because they didn't, it was all about Trump. They didn't celebrate anybody. You didn't have George W. Bush come out and give a speech. You didn't have Mitch McConnell come out and give a speech and talk about how much they love the party or anything. It's all about Trump, and that's it. And if you weren't there, if you didn't kiss Trump's ass, you were not invited.
Right. Yeah.
Democratic convention celebrates its successes, showing, look, we had two of the most popular presidents in modern history are here. All
Yeah.
two-term presidents. And you're gonna say something stupid like that, then also ignore the fact that the Republicans have ran the same guy now 3 fucking times.
Yeah. And he's
Uh,
never won the popular vote.
he's never won the popular vote. He lost the last time. Hopefully,
Yeah.
unless something majorly bad happens or something really like screwy
Yeah.
happens, he loses again. But to say something so stupid that a party would celebrate its leaders and like and you know, it's about passing the torch, and it's about showing that the party has strength and has a history of strength and a history of like people
Yeah.
like they there's no can these people are, I mean, I know the Clinton thing, like there's all the Epstein shit and all the conspiracies
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
him, but it doesn't matter. People love him. Like,
It's yeah. It's also like, and this is kind of like, you shouldn't even have to say it, but like, you realize that the party exists to like make the country better. Not the party doesn't exist as like this separate thing. Like with Trump and the Trump family running the RNC, they are in it for themselves. You know, I mean, like clearly they see like, well, we got to make everyone. But the Democratic Party said over and over again, like there's a home for everyone here. We don't think we're,
like
you know.
another good example is like even like the first night Kamala came out and introduced everybody, and like
Mhm.
that was interesting. Like she was the one that like she did like a little speech in the beginning and then gave it to the first speaker.
Yeah,
But like, okay, so she her and Walt sit in the booth the whole time watching the speeches.
right.
The speeches are about policy, what they're going to do, attacking Trump, what they're going to, you know, how Kamala's going to be
Yep.
great. But no, it's not a bunch of people like trying to impress like the Roman emperor.
Yeah.
When you watch the RNC convention, everything is like everyone's like
Yeah.
leading their allegiance to Trump. It was all about
Yeah.
that. You watch it, like every politician there, all groveling towards him. Now, they did have Kid Rock there. So,
True. Blah
dude,
blah
okay.
blah.
Another example is that in again, the roll call, the energy behind
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
every state, like, and you see like all the state, the one in the RNC one, and it's like snooze fest. Some old lady.
Yeah.
Did they like Little John come out? That was insane. I was
It
like
was.
listening to while I was driving. I wasn't home when I had it playing. And all of a sudden I hear like turn down for what? And I'm like, what? And then I like, wait, is they just playing that? I'm like, no, he's fucking there doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is and it's just a roll call. Like that's insane.
It
Like,
was great. Yeah.
yeah. They said that song like spiked, like people were like
Oh, I'll
downloading the shit
bet.
out of it after that. Probably the best move that guy could have done.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
Because it was
well,
like it was nuts, and everyone tried it, but that one, Georgia like won that one. They were like the excitement level there was like insane.
yeah.
But I don't know, things are gonna change now because supposedly tomorrow
Oh, yeah.
RFK is going to officially put drop out of the race
Right.
and endorse Donald J. Trump.
You know, there's some debate as to
So
whether or not he can even.
expect the polls to shift,
Well,
planets to realign.
they're saying that he might not be able to get off the ballot in some states. That he's like, I don't know. The whole thing's just screwy. That campaign's such a joke.
It was a
Um,
joke. It was the whole thing. It was so bizarre, Robert Kennedy. It's like they announced he's running. Everyone that was the only people propping him up were like right wing chuds and weirdo fake lefty
yep.
grifters that also are right wing chuds, really. And it was bizarre. It was super fucking weird.
Mm,
This guy was like, it was like he's to the right of Biden. He's talking about crypto. He's anti-vax. I was like,
right.
this guy's run makes no sense. He's taking pictures with fucking Steve Bannon and Michael
Well, it
Flynn.
was
It's
like
like,
every other day too. He came out with a new position on abortion. I mean, it was real bizarre. He was like trying to find the sweet spot. Um, that
then he
one day
comes
he
out
came.
and says like this weird shit about like how he had a worm in his brain that like literally like a portion of his brain does not exist because it was eaten by a worm. There was that weird video of him where he's talking to Trump on the phone, and Trump's like basically telling him what to do.
Yeah.
Thing came out about the bear. Now, supposedly, and I could be wrong, I don't think I trust Cheryl Hines, Larry David's ex-wife from the show.
Yeah.
Supposedly she's not for him endorsing Trump. This
Well, I've
guy was a fucking environmental lawyer and a like huge progressive. I used to hear him on Air America. He's always
yeah,
had kind of always had that weird voice a little bit. It was always like
right.
something happened to him, who knows when. Obviously, it's gotten way worse with age and with his weirdness. It's gotten worse where he's just like
Hmm.
that again. Nothing is that video of him in
Covered
the
in
garden
flies.
covered in beetles, like with his crazy voice. That lady from like Kellogg's or something that's there, and he's like,
Yep.
"Hello, it's me, Robert Kennedy. You can use these bugs instead of pesticides." And he's just
Yeah.
covered in like what the fuck is going? And then the
Uh,
biggest joke about Robert Kennedy too is like Biden's too old. We need somebody younger. Oh, how old's Robert Kennedy? He's over 70. It's like,
yeah.
what?
I pulled up on the my news feed. I just typed in his name as we are bringing him back up, and he just within the last 2 hours filed to withdraw his name from the Arizona ballot.
Um,
So
oh, Robert
RFK
Kennedy.
did. He wants his name off the, and it's weird because like the Democrats had filed a couple injunctions to get him off the Washington state and Michigan ballots, I believe. I don't know the math there. Like I don't think Robert F. Kennedy dropping out is gonna change things much.
No one's gonna give a
Um,
fuck about him a week from now or a day from
yeah,
now. It's not. If they think that now again, the press is stupid and they give Trump way too much attention, and we all unfortunately give him way too much attention. So
right.
it's a weird, uh, like I don't know. I always heard that like, oh, you're the one drawing him. Giving him attention. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just like a fucking. I'm just part of the
Yeah,
like. I'm a small, tiny thing. I'm not a major news outlet or anything. Like, who gives a shit? My 100 likes, my 1,000 likes, or whatever is not gonna change the world. Like,
right, right.
I'm not a major media organization or anything like that. If they choose to show Robert Kennedy as some threat to Kamala Harris for endorsing Trump, then that's bullshit. And they're just giving Trump, they're trying to juice Trump because it's a no who gives a fuck? Then the kind
Yeah,
of people that were going again, the joke was is that yeah, he stole votes from him. Like the people that vote Robert Kennedy are brainworms. They're gonna vote for Trump anyway.
yeah. I think when push comes to shove. Now, if I'd have to look at like the swing states or whatever. Like Robert F. Kennedy getting off the ballot in Arizona, is that going to give Trump enough votes to
It might
over?
shift it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't
Little
know. I mean,
shifts here and there, but again, how long will that last?
right. That's the thing.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Robert Kennedy's voice is very off-putting. If you're gonna have the argument about Biden needing to drop out because he was old and he muttered and he looked confused on stage, because politics isn't really about
right.
policy, it's about vibes.
Yeah,
So if we're gonna do a vibe check, then that
right.
means then the Democrats won this election with that DNC convention because that was an ultimate vibe check there with
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
like even Biden's speech passes the so-called vibe check. Trump does not pass the so-called vibe check. For some reason, he gets a pass for some fucking reason.
Yeah,
Robert Kennedy sounds like a dying corpse, which is weird. It's like a corpse that was dying again. Like
yeah,
someone took that corpse and tried killing it again. Like, I'm dead. What are you doing? Like Robert Kennedy looks like he wants to spend time in like a cavernous pools where he looks
yeah.
at his ring all day and he says, my precious. Like that
He
dude,
does.
the more we hear him, the more off put. No one wants to hear that guy.
Yeah,
I'm
and every
sorry.
news
We're
story
talking
that comes about him is worse than the one before.
the bear story.
It's
Like,
awful. Yeah,
yeah, like that was a horrible story. That was weird. And again, what's the angle here? You get Robert Kennedy to come out and endorse you. Like, that's not going to help your
yeah,
weird people calling you weird unless you think like look at Robert Kennedy out there, and everyone will think he's the weirdo, and they'll see
Right, right.
like, look at that normal guy with the weird blonde, the weird dye job, and the orange, the puckered
Yeah.
eyes and lips with the weird skin, and the who plays an invisible accordion and jacks off ghosts. And then no one will pay attention to my weird off-putting VP pick.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing of JD Vance with the donuts
Oh,
is
that was great.
so funny. So there's this video that went around.
Yep.
I ain't gonna play. He's getting donuts, whatever, and he's like, "Hello, fellow human."
It really is. It's in Valdosta, Georgia. And I
You
went to
are a
school in
donut person. You make donuts.
I went to school in Valdosta for I don't know 3 years or whatever. And Valdosta is a small southern town. It's a college town, so it's kind of like maybe a little more progressive than most. Um, I cannot imagine them handling JD Vance well in
Well,
Valdosta,
there was
Georgia.
that one lady that's like, I don't want to
Yeah,
be in this, and he's like, "All right, well, cover her up," or thing. And
and
then he's
they
like,
don't.
"How long were you here? How long did you work here?
How long did
What
the
kind of,
business?
can I give you donuts? What do you want? I'll have the sprinkled thing, and that other. Just give me the things with the donuts." And then
Which
what was it? Someone posted a picture. Did you post it or someone with the box and it said, he fucked them all.
yes, I did.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I did.
fuck all those donuts. You know it.
He's, you know he's gonna fuck these donuts.
You know he's gonna fuck those donuts.
What would
But
you like? Give me 12 jellies. Give me 12
someone did a brilliant job where they just edited the video, did like weird little close-ups, and they
Yeah,
made it the end of Veep whenever
that's yeah.
where the credits would play, and it would be exactly like that, and it played exactly like that. People compare that tall guy from Veep, he's like that shitty politician that they
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
trying to run, like he's like some rich kid, or you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like, he's terrible.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's like Matt Gates, basically. Like people compare him to that guy. Like, I mean, again, JD Vance is a terrible VP pick too.
He is remarkably bad. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
curious.
someone
Go
he's
ahead.
only like 39. He's only ran one race. You know, he
Yeah,
had like a weird cush job at a hedge fund. I mean, like he's just not had much
venture
experience.
capitalist, right?
Yeah, and I know like he did serve in the military, but it was like again, it was
Listen,
like
if you're
a
gonna attack Walls's military, then your fucking military
oh yeah,
is
but it was
up
like
for critique.
it was a he was in like a press office. I mean, like all of his jobs didn't really have they all seemed like they didn't involve a lot of conflict or tension, you know, that he would have to learn how to deal with. Uh anyway, that clip at the donut shop was just amazingly awkward.
Oh man. I mean, it's just like, how long has shop been around? How long
Yeah.
has the donut store been around?
And you could just tell he was like mentally he's like come on JD just think of something to say, you know, like
Yeah.
he was like
How is the
sweating
weather?
bullets, right?
What is
Oh,
the I hope the sport team from this city
right.
wins the game.
Yeah, it was all like that,
That
like
would bring me great joy and special feeling for
right. It was just
what are
yeah.
these sprinkled confectionaries?
Like remember that it's always sunny episode where he didn't know what cottage cheese was. He's like, what is this
Yeah.
bowl of white? What is this bowl of what is this?
Yeah, I mean,
This
like it was just
cheese
it
made
just
in a
shows that
cottage?
listen, like he can be a smart guy or whatever. His politics are fucking awful.
Yeah,
He's a shithead. But the reality is the dude has no riz whatsoever.
right. Yeah.
Now, you know who has riz? The Rizzler. Is that his name? You ever seen that kid? You ever see those people? Is it AJ and Big Justice?
Oh yeah.
Like, we're Costco guys. You know what I'm talking about? Those fucking
Yeah, I do.
weirdos.
I do.
And then
Yeah.
there's like this little fat kid, and he's the
Yeah.
Rizzler or the Riz, and he does that thing with his face. He's like, and I'm just like, what is this kid? Is like, have you seen this kid?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, as my son are like crack up over this shit, and I said, this kid's like, he looks like he's like 50. We're gonna find out he's
Yeah.
really like a 50-year-old dwarf. He's not an actual kid. This kid's like so
Uh,
chunky. Like he's gonna have like type 2. He's gonna like type 4 diabetes, the Rizzler. He
so
needs to stay away from the
you have what we call triabetes. It's
diabetes. Yeah, this kid. he- it's,
quadruple
I'm not feeling
beaties.
good. Is it because I have too much Riz? No, it's because you are you have type 4, you have the blood of a 53-year-old and you're 8 years old.
Son, you are sweating gravy. You are sweating gravy.
Like, like the guy, like the dad, like talking about double chocolate
Yeah.
chunk. I don't know why I see these videos and kill me. I'm like,
That's what I'm telling you.
they
It's
have a
like this.
song. They have a fucking song,
Oh man.
and it's a banger. It's like we bring the boom.
God.
That's what we do. We bring. Oh my god, it kills me. What were you gonna
Well,
say about them?
I was gonna say that's what I'm talking about. Like every once in a while, TikTok feeds me something like that, like over and over again. I'm like, I don't know how this came to me. I mean, I don't think it's something I like, but I guess
I
I'm
want to see
starting to.
a, a morbidly obese small child make Mew faces at you or whatever. I don't know. He's like
Yeah.
he
Uh,
looks like he looks like a little obese handsome Squidward when he does that.
yeah.
This kid, he's
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'm assuming they're making a ton of money from this. I have no idea, but it's killing me. I can't handle it. Like anytime I
Well,
see it, I'm like, this is like shouldn't be funny.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I hate these
Well,
fucking people.
Well, that was yeah. So we had the JD Vance donut purchasing. The other thing we are going to talk about is Trump's new fainting skit,
Yeah.
which I had not seen that until you sent it to me.
So I
Um,
guess at like his last rally, so now he wants to do outdoor rallies again
yep,
because he he didn't want to do indoor ones because one, the outdoor rallies are cheaper. He doesn't have to
yep,
pay that much. And
yeah.
I guess because there's people he hasn't paid them from the last
Oh
election.
yeah,
So he's like, they're like, no,
right.
you're not
They want
fucking
a
welcome.
deposit. He did one
Which
in
is
Boone,
insane.
North
You think he'd be
Carolina.
able to pay for these things? Like he's got all these like fucking well, I guess because most of the money's going towards his legal defense.
I think he just. I think
They,
it's so weird. I in my business life or whatever, if you tell, and I'm very grossly overgeneralizing, if you tell a middle class or a broke person like, oh yeah, there's a $7 fee for this, they'll pay it. Won't even ask. They'll just, oh okay, yeah. If you tell a millionaire that there's a $7 fee for something,
they won't pay for it.
buckle the fuck up because you're in for it's like reeling in a 90-pound marlin or something, trying to get them to
Or
pay
the
the
Rizzler.
fucking $7. It's like an affront to their I don't know. But I think he's like, yeah, I'm not paying that. I think that's
It's
just his
on, man.
attitude.
He wouldn't pay his contractors and shit. He would
Yeah.
not pay like so I never understood why people like would work him from all these years. He
Yeah.
screwed like everybody over that works for him. He so the joke
It's
is
like,
he wanted to do outdoor ones because again, probably easier to get them. He
yep.
didn't because there was images. I think one of the big ones was that there were images of him doing one and then Kamala doing it at the same place like a couple of days later and just packing the
Yeah.
shit out of the place. Like there was one, they were like, there's someone they're like, listen, these are packed, these Trump ones, but some of them they weren't, or there's people leaving. They don't
Yeah.
want, they want to get out of there before, like, I don't know, so they could beat the traffic. I have no,
Right.
like, again, I don't know why these people go to these things, but if they're not going to stick around for the whole thing, especially the main attraction, which is supposed to be him. So he wanted to do these outdoor ones because one, you can like hide the fact that there's less people there
Right. Yeah.
outdoor. They're not contained in some building. You're not going to see like a whole rafter of empty seats. Like the second tier is just completely empty and everyone's just forced down to get tighter shots. Like the joke was, I don't know if you realize there was supposedly a spillover for the DNC in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it supposedly was in the same place that the RNC convention was at.
I did hear this. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Mm,
I don't feel like that gets the news that it should get.
yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so he went to do outdoor ones, and they're like, well, you last time you did an outdoor one, you were like almost killed,
Right.
and people were killed. So like, you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to basically be behind like bulletproof glass.
Right.
It looked so they were like funny memes. Like someone was like, it must have been raining or whatever, so there was like this weird like streaks on the glass, and it said like my crisper drawer filled with vegetables looking at me while I'm ordering takeout.
Yeah.
But there was some bullshit thing there where some lady, some supporter passed out, and he got up, showed concern,
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
into the audience, everyone cheered. He made sure to check on this person who
But he
definitely
was like,
not a
yeah.
this person who's definitely not a plant.
Right.
Like, look at me, I'm a hero. I'm doing human things. I'm going to make sure this person that's
It's
been,
someone who just
you know,
happens to be in the front row,
just
probably
happens to be in
the
the front
coolest
row.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, really close. I don't have to walk on the back with all the rabble and the plebes in the back,
Yeah.
the cheap seats with
And
all the,
you can see him pause and then like almost wait for a cue and then he goes like
yeah,
it
and
looks
it's some
very
stupid,
staged.
like, wait, you're supposedly like your life's threatened. You would not leave that glass.
Right.
So this is a bunch
Right.
of the whole thing is bullshit. It's like this, but his supporters they buy this shit.
Yeah. They
It's
eat
like
it
the same
up.
kind of people that like fall for like preachers and shit who like,
Yeah.
you
Snake
know,
handlers,
yeah.
turpentine drinkers. Yeah.
What was that tonic or whatever that Grandpa Simpson was trying to sell?
Yeah.
A love potion.
Yeah. Um,
They so I just saw that and I was like, oh, such horseshit. That guy don't give a
yeah.
fuck about anybody.
No.
Like I said, the best thing ever that shows that why the assassination attempt was sus as hell is because there's that awesome video of him where there was even just like the slightest of like there might be someone trying to get on stage, and he just like
Oh yeah.
quickly react like, oh fuck, and like
Right.
somebody grabs him immediately. Like there was this one, okay, pause. Is he getting up?
Right.
Everything okay? You got the blood? Okay, now I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna raise my make sure to expose my whole body so I could raise my fist and say fight as we slowly walk off the stage as we
Yeah.
slowly I want to make sure we get as many photos.
Yeah. You
I have
could
to get that photo with the flag in the background. Looks like a cross behind me.
I think the funniest thing is how angry MAGA is that people aren't dwelling on that moment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they get so worked up over that.
Well, there's two things. One, people fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Like
That's a
people
big one.
fucking hate him. Like again, the thing that drives me nuts about this election, presidential elections, is the electoral college is affirmative action for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Republican Party can does not have to perform well, just
No.
has to win. It has to just win the states it always wins. It just has to chip away 10,000 votes here in Pennsylvania, 10,000 votes in Michigan. All it has to do to win a fucking
Yeah.
election.
Yeah,
Kamala
that's true.
Harris could have a popular vote advantage of 15 million, and Trump could still win
Oh
this
yeah.
election.
Yeah, absolutely.
If people don't vote in Michigan or something.
Right.
Something insane like that. It's absolutely crazy. I
Mhm.
think a couple of things before we talk about the last thing, going back to the convention. I liked, was it Obama? Was it Barack Obama or was it Michelle Obama who talked about the affirmative action of generational wealth?
I don't honestly I don't remember.
It might have, who said
Was
that?
it
The affirmative action of generational wealth. It was great. It was basically talking about how Trump could like fail up and basically how because of generational wealth, he can make all the mistakes. It
I
is
think that was
affirmative
a
action
separate
in a way.
woman. I think it was a woman and
I thought it was Michelle Obama who said that.
it could have been Michelle Obama, but let me see who I think it might have been.
It was
Um,
6 words. Michelle Obama rewires
okay.
American conversation on. Yeah, we have affirmative action for the wealthy. She said that.
Yeah. All right.
Great
Yeah.
line, and it's 100% correct. You know, they always talk about like the whole idea of fail sons constantly being able to fail
Yep.
up and just fuck off. And Trump is the ultimate. I mean, this is a guy who bankrupted a casino, which is like laughable.
Yeah, that's
Now, of course,
crazy.
to be fair, casinos have failed, but it is funny to say that. It's like saying like you lost money in the free money
Yeah,
contest. I mean, the
right.
free money business where people just give you money. How did you go out of business from this?
Mm. Yeah, they give you money and try to guess the number between 1 and 100, and if they don't win, you get to keep the money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. So that was a great line. Trying to think if there was any. I don't know. There was like some other thing that popped in my brain. It just
yeah,
popped. But I guess okay. Last thing. If anything else comes up, I'll bring it up. It's just
yeah, yeah,
there was a lot of stuff that happened at that convention.
yeah.
A lot of good moments, a lot of good speeches. I didn't see all of them, so the majority of them.
I would say I saw. I'm happy with the amount I saw because like I right off the bat I was like I can't devote like 6 hours a night to this all week, But I probably watched, I'd say 2.5 hours each evening of stuff, plus whatever I
Uh,
could catch on Twitter and whatnot.
Crockett was funny though. That was great. The her speech, she had like
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
diagrams or whatever.
yep,
She's like what I liked about her, she's a congresswoman from Texas, a black woman. She was awesome because she was the one that she went to. So Marjorie Taylor Greene would go to
yeah,
would constantly bring up how like the January 6 people are like suffering or some bullshit, some insane thing. And she went to it. She went to visit the
yeah,
prison. And she was like, all right, after they were done talking, Crockett went to, and she's like, listen, these fucking people, this is bullshit. These people have their own wing. They're all out
yeah,
around together. They're treated like they got their own, like they got they're in the newest section of the prison.
yeah,
Got the best stuff. Don't believe this bullshit.
yeah. She
And
was
then
she
I don't know if you already did you like Trump wants to do something for the January 6 people like at his next rally or something insane.
yeah, yeah. It is weird. That was another thing where they talked to a focus group or whatever, and they said that is these undecided voters, and who knows if they're really undecided, but
Yeah.
undecided voters, the thing that turns them off most is when Trump says nice things about January 6th. So hey, he can keep talking about it for all I care.
I think it's
That's
insane that he like you think he would distance himself from it
yeah,
and he's like he wants to like he constantly brings it up. He wants these people to be like
yeah.
he said he'll pardon all of them.
Just so screwy. Like it would he could probably just come out and say like they just got out of hand, their heart was in the right place, but I mean he could I don't know why he doesn't.
He attacked a cop, so
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
strong on law and order. So
Yeah, I mean like there's a way for him to frame this that looks good for him, but he can't do it. He
oh,
just can't bring
somebody
himself
made
to
a
do it.
joke and said that because he's a convicted felon and these people are convicted felons, that he wants to like have or deal with at his next rally. I don't know if it's like over the phone with them in the prison, that's like illegal actually.
Yeah,
That
you can't.
felons cannot like
You can't associate with other felons. That's like a common pre-sentencing release, like because I think technically Trump's out on bail. I
yeah,
think, right? I mean,
yeah.
like,
If he didn't have the money he did or the access or title or running for president for the second
yeah,
biggest party, he'd be in prison probably right now, running
they
in
should
jail until he
start.
was sentenced.
I don't know why they don't say it that way. Like this, he's out on bail because I think that has to be. If you're found guilty and you're awaiting sentencing, then you have pre-sentencing conditions. You're on some sort of court release.
I
So
will say you could tell Harris is a lawyer because when she brought up the 34
yeah,
conviction,
I saw that.
she didn't say rape. She
No,
made
she
sure not
said
to say that Donald Trump was a rapist. He just said that he was
liable for sexual assault or something
right.
like that. Yeah,
Right. I get why she did that.
I
Like
noticed that too. Yeah,
you could tell she's a lawyer, and she is a lawyer because
yeah,
she knew to like make sure not to say that he's a rapist because that could be like, you know.
yeah,
Engaging. Oh, well, okay. Before we move on to Santos, and again, Santos isn't really much, but
yeah,
my favorite too was after Obama spoke, Trump was just like, so Trump was like complaining at his like most recent
yeah,
rally
yeah,
about them, and he's like, they were attacking me, making it personal. He's like, he's so pissed because I guess his like the people who like run his campaign were like, you need to like talk about policy.
Right. Yeah.
You can't be just sitting here complaining about grievances and everything like that. You need to like,
Right.
and he's like, I'm trying to talk about policy, but they want to make it personal. They want to attack me. They
Yeah.
want to make fun of me. They're calling me weird. That was the
That's
fun
great.
funniest when he's like, they're calling me weird, and he opens up his arms really wide. Like, yeah,
That's
dude, there's a
great.
reason. You're fucking weird.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of weird,
Yeah.
this guy, George Santos,
Yeah.
future Netflix 40-part documentary series,
Right.
George Santos,
Yeah.
future movie, George Santos, future, I don't know, I'm sure there'll be something else, comic book
Right.
series, action
Yeah.
figure line.
Yeah.
George Santos in all four of his variations. Anthony DeVolder, George Santos, Kachir, what was it? Coochie Coo, what's his like
Char.
Chara? What?
Yeah. Char.
No,
Uh.
what's his drag queen name?
Yeah. What was that?
Conchara or something? I don't know. Just look up George.
Yeah.
Just look up. Just look up George Santos and drag
Oh,
just and see
jeez.
what. No, don't just say George
Yeah. I'm
Santos
gonna
and.
enter that in TikTok. So, but a second.
You're gonna get some
I
TikToks now.
certainly won't get any weird TikToks. George Santos drag name. Drag name. It was um uh Katara Rivace. Katara Rivace. I think he had another one, didn't he?
I don't know. There has to be
Uh,
like another one that
yeah.
make it before, but yeah, I guess he's finally yeah, he's going to jail. He's probably gonna go to jail no matter what, right?
Yeah, yes, I read an article before we came on that said he is doing a mandatory 2 year minimum, and it
So
could
what
it
did
could
they
be
get him
more.
on? What is this for?
It was let's see, the minimum of 2 years in prison, fraud and identity theft. And I think it was when he was like qualifying, I think he forged names, and then there's some checks that he forged names on. Oh, there's a couple really weird things, but it's easy to kind of give him a pass because he's kind of a comical figure, but he was such a toxic poison. He was always right there with Bobert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, just being like fucking jackals at official things, and um,
Yeah, he's shit. He's a
he
shit
was. And he's
politician.
just
He
a
lied.
shitty person.
He's a shitty person. He did some scam with some veteran's dog, like real
Yep.
shit things.
And he was one of the ones, him and that Anna Luna
Which
Paulina
is
or whatever down in Florida.
yeah, that
And
Anna Polina, whatever her name
yep,
is, that MAGA chud. She sucks too. Like she supposedly like got her start with like TP USA or some
yeah,
shit.
but they all fabricated a story that made them appeal to moderates. Like
Yeah,
George
like oh, I have this
Santos was
diverse
like,
background,
yes,
black
I'm
people. This, that.
gay, I'm moderate, I'm
Yep.
pro your choice. And then they get
That
in the
other person
office.
claims she was Jewish and she's
Yep.
not at all. And her fucking grandfather's like literal Nazi.
Then
Like
they get into
literally was
office
Nazi
and
in
yeah,
Germany.
and they shift hard right. So good. Let them chill on that for 2 years in prison, jerk.
Yeah. No, he sucks and he
Yeah.
deserves it. It's just funny that it's all happening. I forgot
Yes.
about it. Because this guy cannibalized all the headlines because he was like, again, the Democrats fucked up there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they allowed the voter. I mean, I guess I forgot the guys from Internet today. One guy said a good point. He said like a lot of these states, especially like these blue states and these certain areas, like certain parts of California and parts of New York, you get these guys who run in parties and they're really just like fucking grifters, like because
Yeah.
they usually don't have a fucking chance in winning ever,
Right.
and they're like a joke. But I guess he gave himself too many. So he probably figured like I'll run a campaign, I'll make some money out of it, and then when I lose, I'll just move on to my next con, you know? But the
Right.
problem is he got elected and then all that shit came out about him and he
Yeah.
fucked
He had,
himself. By
that was
getting
it.
into power, he fucked himself.
he had written a bunch of checks that were like you had to report it if it was like $100 even, and he had like 500 checks written for $99.99 or something. There was something like super egregious about the way he went about it. Um, yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. I mean, he barely lasted like a year. They all turned on him,
Yeah,
you know. Ugh, fuck that
yeah,
guy. All right. Well,
yeah.
I mean that's really it.
That's it.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what the if there's a I'm assuming there's a net benefit to this DNC thing.
Me
Again, I
too.
still think that most of the media still wants Trump to win, but there is a point where even they know that Trump's a fucking loser. At some point, they
Yeah.
have to be like,
Well, this
he'll
is a good
attack
story.
Kamala. What?
This is a good story. Kamala Harris winning is a good story too. It's
Her
not what
winning?
they.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great
Yeah,
for the country. Again, I know people will say like like I posted some art with her and it said like we can do it. I made her look like Rosie the Riveter, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
some fucking jackass leaving comments about like, oh, she's just as evil as him. And I'm like, what are you nuts? What are you
Yeah.
fucking
You
nuts?
kidding
Like,
me?
she's not get the fuck out of here. Again, she's perfect. Hell no. She's a
No.
fucking like listen, she's the vice president of the United States. Like
Right.
she's seen some shit, like, and made some like, but to say that she's like the same as Trump is clownish. Like, I'm not gonna take you seriously. You're a
Yeah.
fucking clown.
It's
You're a fucking
ridiculous.
that is like a that is a ridiculous false equivalency. The United States having the first woman president, and not just that, a woman of color. I think that's a big fucking deal.
It's
I
a
know
huge
that
deal.
is it a what they call that, like a problem, or like just like a gesture doesn't like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not gonna put food on the table. It's not gonna get people out of poverty, but it makes a
It
difference.
all makes a
It
difference.
it
It all makes a
changes
difference.
the dynamic of the culture. It changes like it's a big fucking
Yeah.
deal.
And it stalls out any um Trump nominees to the Supreme Court.
That's the biggest fucking
Yeah.
deal.
It's a huge deal.
That's one that doesn't get discussed enough. They brought it up during the thing about
Yeah.
the
A little bit, yeah.
Supreme Court. They brought it up. No, it was a lot. I mean, I think I don't know. Uh, but like it if it was not a big deal, we would have already had a black woman, or we
Yeah.
would have already had a woman president a long time
Yeah.
ago if it wasn't a big fucking deal. You
Yeah.
know? Like that whole
Absolutely.
argument is stupid. It's like if it wasn't a big deal, then this would have happened already.
And if it wasn't a big deal, no one would be commenting on it. No
Yeah.
one's commenting on oh wow, we would have a white male vice president. No one said that.
Yeah.
No one has said that,
If
So
anything, the fucked up thing is that he could be super popular because he is like we're talking about walls, right?
yeah,
Like he's super popular because he is a white dude.
yeah.
He
He's like
appeals
this.
to a lot of white people.
Yeah.
That's an
That looks like
unfortunate.
me. Finally,
Hey,
some representation.
yeah, finally, about fucking time. When are white people gonna? I hate that shit. What was it? Someone?
Where's my month? Where's my
Yeah, where's my? Yeah, yeah. It's like a child saying like, "Why don't we have Kids Day?" to a parent, because they have Mother's Day and Father's
right?
Day.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
listen, you know what? I don't even really have a Father's Day. It's still fucking Kids Day. We're still doing shit you wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh
I
well.
like Walls' line, "We'll sleep when we're dead."
Yeah, it's
Kind
pretty
of
great.
a little, yeah, "We'll sleep when we're dead." I'm like,
A little aggressive, but sure,
that's
I'll go
aggressive.
with it. Yeah,
I think this is the point is that they're going to fight.
yeah. That's the thing. My big knock on Hillary Clinton was she didn't visit Wisconsin. She left stuff on the table.
And
She started her victory dance before the game was over. And I don't think that's going to be the case with Harris and Walls. Harris during the convention is out there campaigning in Wisconsin.
that's
I mean,
right.
like they're going to work up until the bell rings, and then they'll see what happens. But they're not writing. They're not going to waste time writing their victory speech until after they've won. So I think that's a real good attitude.
Before finish this, I think the fact is, and I think they communicated this too. Trump is not just a national, will have a national like impact in a bad way, but also on international.
Yeah,
She,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I think she said it. They all said it. Like the fact that he wants to like cozy up to Kim Jong Un is insane. That's not
yeah.
something to brag about. That's not something
No,
like, oh, I talk you. He's still a fucking dictator of North Korea. Like
yeah.
you
No,
didn't
that.
do anything. There was no net positive of you. The only thing I figured that came out of that, of him meeting Trump meeting with Kim Jong
Kim
Un,
Jong.
is that we would have like you would find a couple years later you'd go to like Walmart and look at the clothes and it would say made in North Korea.
Right, with like "help me" scrawled in it, and
Yeah.
like it's
Well,
just
no, it'd
small.
just be another backwater country that they could
Yeah,
put
yeah,
factories in that, and I could totally see that. It's like, like it.
yeah,
I like that they brought that up, that he cozies up to Putin. That it would be a international disaster to have this guy in there. Like I like that Biden brought up a whole point about like strengthening our allies and like the fact
yeah. I
that
agree. I agree.
Trump is. And again, it's not like like that whole argument, like he wants to be friends with Putin. It's like that's idiotic. He doesn't want to be friends with
Right.
Putin. He's just gonna like roll over like a dog for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad they brought these things up.
Me
These
too.
are facts. So, all right. Well, on that note, if you liked this episode
Yeah.
and you made it this far, that
Then
must mean you
yes.
really like us. And if you want, there's a link in our bio to buy us coffee. If you
Yeah.
appreciate what we do, we try to do it weekly. Hit that button
Right.
in the caption of this episode and feel free to get us a coffee. We appreciate
How how can I live, laugh, and love without my pumpkin spice latte?
it.
That's
Exactly. We are in that season where the only way to live, laugh, love is with a pumpkin chai.
yes, exactly.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
That.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT.